I need to put a nice, like a really nice fade on there. 603. What'd you figure out math-wise? That was like once a...
Yeah, that adds up to about 10 years or something that we've been doing this
10
every
solid
week.
years, yep.
Wow.
Yep. It's been amazing, man. It's been awesome.
Not only have I had shorter relationships, but like by an order of magnitude.
Yeah.
Like, bro.
So listen to this, man. I've been doing YouTube long enough for a person to have been born, had sex, had a child, and died. Like, an entire generation of people have passed since I started. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. Like, it's nuts. I'm not saying that
they would have died pretty young.
Thing. But, well, people are having babies at 14. I was going to 16 to 17. Yeah. But, like, because I started prior to opening the channel main, I was still doing videos. So it's like, I was talking even, when I was at my
company. Like those people in what's the movie where everybody dies? They're being, like, tracked down by death one by one.
We just talked about it last night.
Yeah.
How can I not remember? Not Fatal Attraction.
A Destination. Fatal Destination, I think.
Is that what it is? Fatal Destination?
Deadly?
Destination.
Someone will tell us
69.
In chat.
Somebody will remember in chat. Hello from my vault. Hello from your vault. I want the Elder Scrolls 6, man. Enough with Fallouts. That's an interesting question. I'll ask you. Final Destination. We were close.
Oh, there.
You were very
Ballpark.
close. Fatal. Yeah, ballpark.
Yeah.
And to be honest, fatal for humans, about the same thing.
Exchangeable.
Yeah. If you said this is your final meal, okay. If this is your fatal meal, a little less fun, possibly, but still the same thing. You're like fatal, final, ending, destination, whatever. This brings up a conversation we had a couple weeks ago about when you travel somewhere versus when you go somewhere. Like the difference between going to the moon and then traveling to the moon, meaning you're coming back, like you can go to Mars. That'll be it, right?
Right.
Travel usually indicating cyclic. And I was watching an Elon Musk video where he's talking about the difference between the two is the same technologically as the difference between just getting there. So that's how big the jump, to get back. Yeah. So we can just jettison satellites places. We can just be like, somebody says I'm out of sync. I don't know, man. This is just the way it is. Sorry, you're going to have to deal with it. I'm in sync to me, and I'm in sync on OBS. So nothing I can do about it, man. I mean, literally what I'm piping out looks good. But we can like throw satellites out, but getting them to come back, super difficult. But what I was going to ask you was, do you actually like does it bother you when like a final destinations are there?
I think we can never have too many. It's a formula that keeps on giving. I've seen a lot of those. Even this week I watched one. I think it was called Bloodlines. And they're great. They're silly fun. And it's always like pretty much the same plot, isn't it? But
somebody's saying what's up with the audio, that the audio's messed up. Can you get... We'll stop for a second. Now somebody's saying the audio in the sync and all of it's messed up. And then I just got a post saying it's completely unwatchable on Twitch. So, can we check?
Yeah.
Can you check? Do you have the ability to check before we continue? Or we just crash out for the day and I'll go play with my dogs? But if this many people are complaining instantly...
Yeah, the audio sounds good. It's a little bit out of sync for some reason. That could be... I don't know what it is. It's a bit odd. It looks like your video is slightly out of sync from your audio. Could be an encoder thing. Some people are saying it's fine. Some people are
saying it's fine.
Yeah. Maybe try refreshing the window, guys. Let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah, it could be a YouTube
I'm just
issue.
closing out your comments. I love all you guys, but I'm closing out your comments. But
yeah,
that way I'm not going to sit here and read all day and just be a technical support the entire time, especially if some people it's working fine for. So I'm now closing the comments. That kind of stuff is way too rough. Otherwise, I'll just stop. I'll be like, all right, because you know me, man, I'm done. I'm like, it's not working. We're out.
Yeah, it's going to completely derail us.
But like Final Fantasy, after a while, don't you like if so many people are getting skipped out and missing out on Fate killing them? Like, why keep making at some point? That's just real life, man. People are just Fate did a shit job, I guess, in that movie. It's a little bit like Supernatural, where you have the Reaper who keeps fucking up. Actually, I guess in Supernatural, the Reaper was also a badass. Now that I think about it, because you remember, did you ever watch Supernatural, the TV show?
I don't know if I got to the Reaper part.
You didn't get to Reapers
later on?
It's about maybe 6 to 8, but yeah, there were all kinds of issues with the Reaper. They were scary because they scared like angels. I mean, I think pretty much all the other creatures in the world were afraid of the Reapers because they could come in and I think they could reap even. If I remember right, it's an old guy from a series of TV shows, horror movies. I can't remember the name of it, but I think, in all honesty, that guy, like, I think even angels were afraid of him. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Oh wow! Okay,
yeah, it was awesome.
That interests me. I want to get to that part.
You should watch it, man. Supernatural's a good show.
Yeah. So, by the way, can I read a super chat that came in since you closed the thing?
Oh yeah.
This one from Magaming. 9798, $2. Good day, boys. Been a minute. Here's a couple bucks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Been a minute. Where you been? Why have you not been watching us?
True.
Every single time.
You had something better to do?
What have we been doing wrong? What do you not like about us? I'm just joking. Thank you very much for the super chat. We absolutely appreciate it, even though apparently we're unwatchable in all time zones. But such is life.
That's so harsh too. Unwatchable is like,
dude.
Damn, man. Okay, sorry, bro. You know,
what's even
for existing?
Unwatchable in all time zones. Same thing my parents said. What did you play this week? Did you play anything good? Did you play anything amazing? Anything that like anything other than the typical, I guess Final Fantasy or League of Legends? Anything new?
Yeah. I stopped Final Fantasy. I've been all in on AC Black Flag. Been a great time, just getting my homies, my crew together, going out there, trying to get into the shipwright's pants.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah,
Lucy, cool character.
Yeah. Let's hope she is.
And yeah, it's been really fun. I think this is one of the most fun AC games I've played. I really enjoy how they do. Everything is, you can assassinate anyone. So there's no level gating that's happening.
True. Yeah.
That to me is really cool because it really plays into that like assassin fantasy, that if you do catch someone off guard, you got them. That's it. They don't have like a special shield or.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I think also just by pure the way it plays, it sort of shirks off the Assassin's Creed duties. And is just like, enjoy yourself, have fun, go out there. I mean, as an Assassin's Creed game, though, would you agree that it's probably a little wanting?
Why? Because we're not stealthing that much, maybe?
It's not necessarily that you're not stealthing. It's just, you definitely hear it pop up a lot that it just doesn't feel necessarily too assassin-y. Like,
yeah,
it's weird that the most fun Assassin's Creed game to you is the one that is consistently voted as the least Assassin's Creed game outside.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the recent games have gone away from Assassin a lot. Anyway, the way that they play out for me, like Valhalla, you were this like big warrior, didn't feel like you were stealthy or meant to be.
Yeah,
and
right.
Maybe Shadows did a bit more, right? We kind of went back to that with Shadows a bit more. And Mirage. But yeah, the other ones, Odyssey and stuff, that have been straight up like out there, not really stealthing that much.
It's just one.
So I guess that's the standard I'm used to. Yeah.
Yeah. And you look at Mirage, which went old school. It did well, sold well, but didn't necessarily. I mean, they changed some stuff up, but it was still the Valhalla / what do you call it? Game world. It didn't necessarily like go out there and do anything crazy, but it's great to see it doing well. Did you see the sales? Doing phenomenal. Always interesting to see somebody be like, and Shadows, it did better in Shadows. And I'm like, not to be the contrarian, because I totally see that as a discussion point. But at the same time, It's one of the most popular games, and it looks fantastic, and it doesn't have any outliers to push away any fan. It is very safe. There is, in fact, if you look at listen, I like it. It's fun, but it's one of the safest Black Flags. It's a little bit like Horizon Zero Dawn. It's pirates, ninja assassins, and it looks good. There isn't even the ability to say a female protagonist. Now you got an entire demographic who won't buy it because it's female, or you know what I mean? It's like one of those things, and it's a known entity, and people, can sort of look at it and go, yeah, that was fun, or what have you. I think Unity will be a more interesting resync if we were to get that, where there might be, because of the technical problems, maybe I think that one could sell even better, because I think a lot of people wanted to like Unity, but it was so rough that it was just, super difficult to get into. I love AC Shadows for the time I played, but Ubi just made the world way too big. In a Shadows? Did you think the world was big in Shadows?
Not particularly, man. I mean,
pretty okay with that.
Yeah, it was a big world, but
I mean, I feel Black Flag really is way more bloated than Shadows is. Like, Black Flag's got something everywhere. Black Flag basically has the most prolific pirates in any fantasy world of all time. There is a treasure chest on every single island in that game. Somebody has gone around, put a single doubloon in a fucking Happy Meal, and buried it every single
for you to find.
For you to find, yeah.
Years later. I think also it's a product of the way the world is set up in islands.
Yeah.
So you have so much water in between every surface that naturally it's kind of like a meditation app where you can turn up the timer so it goes for longer, and all that's happening is you're making the silences longer in the meditation. It's the equivalent of that, but in a game. That's maybe the weirdest metaphor.
No, because it's that moment of respite, and your base is restful in that game, or can be.
Yes.
You know how a lot of games, the base is you go back, you craft, you talk to a couple people, you get some quests, and then you're back out in the world. In any of the sailing ones, it's like you can sort of do it. I mean, even when you look at Syndicate, it was on a train, but it really wasn't going anywhere. It was a train going in a giant circle around London. So it didn't feel like there was much rest because there was always so much anarchy, where when you're playing Black Flag and Rogue, you're just sailing, you're just going.
Yeah.
You're just traveling, going someplace. Let's see. So I want to read some of this news. This is what Johnny also was saying prior to the podcast. GTA 6 generated roughly 180 million in digital pre-order sales across the U.S., plus 5 largest European markets during its first week.
Damn.
Dude, they only have 10 times more to go to pay it off if it was really, truly $1 billion. They only have 10 times. They only have like 10 more weeks. Let's see. It estimates roughly 260 global first order. Their model puts GTA 6 on pace for roughly 3 to 6 billion in global sales by the end of launch week.
Wow.
Damn.
That's a crazy number.
Yeah. Just so everybody knows, a lot of this is going through Newzoo, which is an analytics company. So I like the company. I think it's actually a little bit better in its breakdowns than most, sort of easier to talk about. But that is crazy, man. Oh, also Newzoo explicitly pushed back on all social reports claiming 1 billion in early pre-orders, saying the currently visible data, even if increased, supports a huge but far lower first week pre-order number.
Wow.
Because there were people being like, yeah, it sold 800 billion copies, like aliens are buying it. It's already sold exactly the number of GTA 5 kind of Twitter posts. Listen to this, though, mobile. I want to show you something before we get into the Fallout talk. This is crazy. Honor of Kings. Do you know that mobile game? Honor of Kings?
Nope.
Okay. Just assume it's just like everything else. Middling of title is what we call it. The middling of title games. Honor of Kings.
Oh.
Whatever it may be. Royalty of Kings, Royalty of Honor, Honor of Royalty. Generated 1.3 billion in just the first half of 2026.
Whoa.
1.3 billion.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Whiteout Survival, never heard of it, followed at almost $1 billion. Doll hairs, 1 billion American doll hairs. And Last War Survival at 930 million. Just want to point out those numbers are crazy for amounts, which we'll talk about in a little bit too, about amounts and games and stuff like that. But yeah, I like to read those. I think it's always interesting to sort of get a little bit of that financial data, especially as we start out discussions like this with Microsoft pulling out the fucking stops, man. Microsoft hit the emergency button. They were like, well, or Bethesda, but they were just like, release it all. Tell everybody. And what did we talk about a couple years ago? I just want to point this out, that at some point the companies were going to start taking advantage of the quick news cycles and start taking advantage of their own news. They got out in front of it instead of all of the thousands of videos where people were setting expectations way too high. You know, Fallout 5's coming, and it's going to be in real time. It's going to be an entire planet. You're going to be able to raise your own families like Phantasy Star Generations. You're going to then be able to build a spaceship, and it will merge with Starfield. Like that kind of leak. And instead, the company's like, yeah, we're making those games. That way, it's nice. No trailer. I'm okay with that. You know, we don't have to wait for an event. They're just like, hey, bro, we got these games coming. Hope you like them. New Vegas, that's great. I think a lot of people are excited for a remaster of New Vegas. Yeah. I have a question for you. What do you think? You think these are all going to fit in the bailiwick of the Oblivion remake, like graphically? Like sort of, is that going to be the... Do you think they'll aim at that, or do you think they'll aim at the resync? Do you think Ubisoft has stepped up the graphical requirements of a remake, resync, remaster, reimagination?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, even Oblivion was a pretty high bar for a remake as well. You know, it was kind of fully redone. I hope it's something like that. Yes, I do hope that the bar has been raised and they need to do something like that. It wouldn't be good enough, I think, for us to just say, listen, Vegas is now playable. It no longer crashes on boot like it does now. And that's the remaster, you know, like an up-res.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one do you think excites you most of those two?
So not including Fallout 5, which, you know, they've indicated.
Yeah, for sure. Well. That would be
so
the big one.
And did they say anything about 4? This is just 3 and remaster, right? Right now?
I think it's just 3 in Vegas.
Okay, 3 in Vegas. I understand the story desire in 3 and why people like it, but the location wasn't as interesting to me as 3. So New Vegas's characters, you know, a lot of people like the role-playing better, and I totally understand, and that is part of the game. But the freeform exploration that I did, I enjoyed the location more in 3. I guess I just need to see it, because if they're graphically like resync, that's going to be nuts, because then I think New Vegas could take it, because I think New Vegas looked sort of rough for where it was. There was just, you know, and it's a wasteland, right? But I would probably say, weirdly enough, I'll go with the lesser expected answer. I'll say 3 probably for me, just personally. I like the setup of 3 better. I had a lot of technical issues with that one as well. I think that sort of hold me back. I had a lot of technical issues with New Vegas.
Oh yeah, 100% all the time, even booting up sometimes.
Yeah. Even starting them. I mean, remember when they were Xbox Live or whatever that service was, and they never worked anyway? Or half the time wouldn't boot. What about you?
I think for 3 also, like the jump would be so massive, right? Because it was an isometric kind of game.
No, 3 wasn't isometric.
Oh, wasn't
1 and 2 were. No, 3 was completely normal. 3 and then New Vegas. And then you have 4.
Oh.
Yeah. That would have been cool,
gotcha.
Though. That would have been cool. You might be confused because last week we just talked about, I was teasing, saying, wouldn't it be hilarious if they announced and they were going to isometric for the new ones?
I see. I always thought 3 was the older
No.
isometric style. So that was already third person.
3 was the one that
Normal.
really blew people's. People just really had a lot of issues with it. A lot of issues with going to first/third. They were just unhappy. You know, all the grognards out there were like, "What are we doing? Why are we switching to the?" You know, typical stuff, typical worries. Not dissing on anybody, but yeah, it was a pretty tough time to be a game fan because, like, if you showed any excitement, the old people who had played 6,000 hours, you know, of the isometric game were like, "How dare you, heathen!" But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm excited for it. I think technically, you know, hopefully we get any of the stutter and any of the issues with the other remake sort of out of the way, and those don't pop up. Remake needs less. Remake needs less loading screens. Man, I barely even remember. I mean, I'm sure they do, right? They all have loading screens. So, deported Sicilian, I think is what his name is cut off by my thing. What's up, sir? $10 super chat. There are no benefits to being owned by Microsoft. Good work is not going to save your job at the company. They destroyed immense value. I don't think they're aware of. Laid off Doom dev.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, that is rough, man.
It is rough. It is rough. And now you've got developers going after each other because you have other developers being like, dude, it was the best thing ever happened to us. So, like, everybody's opinion is their opinion in their particular place.
Yeah. It's a weird incentive structure, too, where it's not like the success condition is not clear at all, unless you're one of these really established IPs that they are focusing on. It's kind of like, it doesn't really matter how well you do or like how loved your game may be.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. There really isn't. It can be, there isn't a success, what do you call it right now? Like any kind of recipe for success. We've seen it, in fact, show that there's not, because we've got games that are incredibly good that are sequels that have done pretty terrible afterwards, you know, that have just not, you look at it and you're like, wow, this game should have sold an immense number, should have exploded, didn't really do anything. So I was asking, excited about Fallout's remakes and new announcements? 60% yes, 40% no. That's fair. That's fair. 60-40 is a good split, especially for titles like that, especially for just hey, we're doing some shit. You know.
Yeah. Do you think you're close to being Fallouted out? So like just too much Fallout show games?
No, not even. At least for me, not even close. And I'm not even a huge Fallout fan. I mean, I'm a Fallout fan, but like games-wise, it's been a long time.
It's been pretty sparse.
Yeah, and we've got a show that's actually reinvigorated me. So I would say not only am I not, I would say that I am desiring it versus any worry of being Fallouted out, because I don't have a new, like, I don't even have I mean, I could go play the old Fallouts, but we've done that. We know all their problems, all that kind of stuff. That would be the same as, it's weird because at some point it's going to be up to everybody, but it's like Fallout show did such a great job of making me interested again. Like it just really did pop out there and be like, holy shit, this worked. I mean, it worked. I don't know if that was their plan. I think it was a tangential plan. They just wanted to also have a good Fallout show, but tangentially it popped those sales crazy. Like they did super well. You saw those sales just skyrocket. Let's see. The show is a must watch. It's been years since I've gotten into a Fallout game. Oh, that's true too. Some people watch the show and have no interest in the game, vice versa too, right? So, Lippy says, I hope 5 isn't another Brown Simulator. So I'm with you there, which is actually why I think New Vegas didn't excite me as much, is because like the change wasn't as great as I would like. I don't know where I want them to go, but I'm excited to see what they do. Now let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the most important thing. Whenever talking about Fallout, there's a couple things that are important, but the most important thing, the thing that's discussed ad nauseum, is VATS. So.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think VATS will be in it? Or do you think we've gone to the point now to where like people will just do the action? Do you think VATS will, if it is in it, do you hope that they change some stuff in VATS? Do you like? What is your opinion of that? What's your opinion of VATS, first of all?
Hmm. I think as a concept, it's really cool. I like it a lot, and I think it has to be there. It's part of the
Okay, fair,
DNA.
fair.
People expect that. Could it change? Could it maybe evolve in some ways? Maybe, but I personally don't see how they would change it without losing what it is, because it's already kind of pretty simple in its essence.
Mhm.
Like if you strip away any part of it,
What about
it's,
adding
you know,
skills, though, Johnny? Like special skills, like a card system. By the way, now I'm just making shit up, but I'm saying, like, you jump into
Yeah.
VATS and you got, like, double touch,
deck
barrel
builder.
roll, flamethrower. And if you do get enough points, you can do all this. Do you want that kind of stuff, or do you just want it? See, here's the thing. A lot of people are going to look at that and be like, I don't want it. But then at the same time, if it comes out, if Fallout 5 comes out and it's got all the same stuff, people will be like, they haven't changed anything.
Mm.
So there's, you know what I mean?
I think that could be cool.
Yeah. It could
If
be.
when you do the VATS, you have almost like a Mass Effect wheel with like abilities you can use, maybe
Right.
that kind of thing, like superpowers you can get. I think that could be nice. That's a good point. I think in general, some superpowers or like offensive mutations you could use could be a really cool addition in general, because a lot of the perks you got were very inventive and cool, but
For
they
sure,
weren't
for
necessarily like a new skill, you know, or like something you could cast practically in
Mhm.
combat.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea.
I like it. But games have changed, man. I just have no clue anymore what companies are thinking. You know, you were talking about like there's no guarantee for success. There's no guarantee that a company will do everything people want and that game just won't sell, which we've seen now to the point to where if I look at a game now and go, this game is going to do hotcakes and it doesn't, I'm like not even surprised. And you see so many games that look like dog shit that have figured out a way to either integrate, social media to try to get Twitch streamers, AOC, be like, hey, yo, you want to talk about politics and fucking play our disguise game? You get that person, right? So
Yeah.
it just feels like, you know, you'll hear people say this all the time. It's never been true, but it's more noticeable now with so many games. Make a good game. That's all you need to do. Is absolutely not true. You got to be on your game. You have to make a good game.
Yeah.
You got to be on the PR side. You have to be on the side of social, signaling and understanding to not say something that will be too overt, not say something that won't be overt enough. Plus, you got to add some flavor. Plus, you got to add not too much flavor, because then some particular person or whatever is going to find a way to do a petition. It's a rough go, man. It's a rough go. Yeah. I'm
And you
excited
need a
for
bit of
it.
luck too, frankly. You know,
Absolutely.
people to warm up to it and ride the wave.
Oh, Sly asks a good question. What if the main protag in Fallout is a mutant or a ghoul? I would kill for a ghoul. I think that would be fucking baller. Yep. But I think it would be more baller if they did a DLC as a ghoul or something. That way you don't, because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to, you know, okay, what do we get all the time? I can't play as a woman because I can't believe it. And you're like,
I don't identify as a ghoul.
What was the last game you played? Transformers. You're like, so you identify with the fucking robot? But that taking that to the highest extreme as a joke, you hit it right on the head there. Some people are not going to want to play a gross looking character. We see that a lot too. I love to make the ugliest, most malformed, like just a monster. And I know a lot of people who hate that. Even people who watch the videos will get so mad that I made an ugly. They will get actually physically angry. They'll be like, I want to punch.
I've seen your Dragon's Dogma characters.
Dude, it's beautiful, man. Is Dragon Age, man, Crimple Raisin in Dragon Age, one of the most beautiful characters ever, dude. The entire playthrough with Crimple Raisin was one of the most enjoyable times I had, because people be like, what the fuck happened to this guy? It's like, dude, sometimes heroes don't always look good, man. You know? Sometimes a hero can look a little fucked up.
The hero we need, not the one we deserve.
Yeah,
or the other way around.
Or the other way around.
Something.
Yeah, or the hero we need, not the one we want to look at in fucking you know, a collage of pictures, right? People lost their minds with needing to have a mushroom face in Avowed. Yeah, I do want to point out that actually wasn't really as much it as it was. What is it? trichinophobia, the phobia of like uneven spaces like a sponge. There are a lot of people who have a
Oh.
very real phobia of that. And admittedly, I would say I do very occasionally with certain things like the underside of a mushroom, fish gills, something about the opening of a structure into something about that, like an exhaust port in Star Wars. Like there's something about the opening into the structure itself, like a fish. Fish gills seem like such a weakness to me as a thing, and that bothers me a little bit. And when I see it, I'm like, ooh. With coral on your face, it reminded me of the clickers, and I see a lot of people very not into the clickers too. In The Last of Us, but I agree with you. Carrick's characters are nightmare fuel, dude. They're beautiful. They're beautiful people. They're beautiful people. Let's see. What else? Any questions you guys have? Give me your comments about Fallout. What do you want to see? What do you want to see in the new Fallout 5? Let's talk about 5 because we sort of have a known entity. We just have to worry about the ports and stuff for 3 in New Vegas. What do you guys want to see in 5? And don't just say a new location. If you want to see a new location, what location? Like where would you like to see it go? Go wild. Undersea base, Atlantis.
Ooh, dude.
Anchorage, Antarctica, Denver, Mile High. I don't know. Some of these are probably destroyed, and people who know the fantasy are probably like, that was nuked. So that's completely fair if you know that. Australia,
yeah,
Russia. They're going to stay in America, though, I'm sure. Some type of extended skill system. Okay.
Yeah, underwater would be crazy.
Would be cool to have
but
like
also,
an underwater base to explore.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Would be very hard to do with how they like to do open stuff. Would be very different.
Yeah, but you could have it as a base, a place you go once, for a quest.
Yep.
You could have that. I would at least want some freedom. Vegas gives you from the start. Genocide Run, go for it. Extended skill system. I'd like to see it in Texas or Chicago. I like those two. Those are, Texas or Chicago. Couldn't be more different. So, like, that would be cool. Waterworld, Fallout, Canada,
in an apocalypse,
China, Colorado. Go ahead. I just wanted to read those.
Would those be very different in an apocalypse situation? Aren't those cities kind of like there anyway?
Because Texas isn't a city; it's that entire state, right? So you look at Chicago, and you've got like the city of Chicago and its outskirts, but then with Texas, you just got a continent on its own. So like you have a really weird world if you were to say Texas. Texas is just, unless you said Austin, Texas, or you nailed it down, like Texas would be an amazing world to explore after the bombs dropped, But again, I want to point out, I don't know exactly what locations bomb dropped, so, it could be completely radioactive. Admittedly, radioactivity from fucking nuclear bombs goes away super fast, but that's not how they play it in the games. So, New York,
maybe snow. Snow could be cool.
That's why I was saying Mile High, Denver.
Cold area.
Because Denver has, all sorts of stuff. Mile High, super cold could be really fun to experience. I just want deeper roleplay options, factions, choice outcomes, skill checks, etc. I care way less about things like the setting. Interesting. Man, because no matter how good those things are, if the setting's bad, I'm not going to play it. Like if it's a desert game, it's going to be really hard no matter how much
Making great choices.
Making great choices on a sand dune somewhere is well beyond my ability to play for a long period of time. Argonaut says, give me the option turn off radiant quests in 5, or at least let me punish Preston Garvey. Preston Garvey is so funny because he's so hated for radiant quests. But I know a lot of people who do like radiant quests has just added little things that are out there. They don't like them for their quality or anything, but they like them. But Preston did his damn best to destroy any desire to see those. More collectibles. I actually sort of would like to see some collectibles. Yeah, for sure. Frostpunk, but Fallout. Yeah, that would be fun, man. It would be. What if you somehow have, what are those gyrocopters that they have? What if you have one as your base, man? You're able to go to different places or something like that, so you can get some of these a little bit like Division, less loading screens, obviously. Yeah, that would be cool. Good ideas, peeps. Those would be. China would be awesome just to see. Yeah, you land in
Yeah,
China
totally
and they're all
different.
fine. They don't even know a nuke has happened. They're still building robots and shit, and they're like still singing terrible songs. You ever heard Chinese opera?
No.
Get all you got to do is just get a really big grinder and throw a bunch of rocks and some metal in it, and you have for sure heard it. I'd love more Radiant quests. Get rid of the inventory weight limits. Okay, now we're just if we took all these ideas, it wouldn't even be able to be played because somebody would be like, "I want it to be more strict survival systems. Get rid of
Yeah.
inventory," which I love, by the way. I want In Exile to make a Fallout CRPG. I'd love more Radiant quests. You guys, I love this, man. The Fallout London expansion mod was great if no one ever played it. The Fallout London expansion, oh, right. Really
Yeah.
feels like a Fallout 3 New Vegas. Would be cool if you had a high science skill and can graft metal arms or augments onto yourself. Taiwanese Dave says, Chinese opera statement is so true. It very much is, man. It very much is. I mean, as somebody who like will take in music from everywhere. Oh, by the way, there's this amazing program, Johnny, that lets you go to the web and it lets you listen to FM, AM radio all over the world, anywhere.
Oh,
so you can go like Jamaica and you hear like Jamaica scat rap, hard metal, German influenced, right? Like the craziest shit. There was one place that I knew right away what they were playing. It was horrendous, and I was like, "Damn, man, what a mindful." Any of the others I clicked, I'd be like, "Oh, this is sort of interesting." Clicked some other places, and was like, "Yep, never again, never again." I was stuck on a bus tour for a week, and every single woman on there was doing it in karaoke style. Oh man, dude, I don't even. That's crazy. Wasteland and In Exile's Fallout. In Taiwanese, it was my personal hell. It was my personal hell. Yeah, we'll have to see, man. This is going to be. They did say it was going to be on the Creation Engine. Did you see that? They said it's going to be in the same engine. So we're going to have that. I think Starfield. When you look at Starfield, how little bugs it had compared to, I would say, generally every other game I've played of theirs, it was probably the most playable day one game. Get rid of the loading screens that we had in Fallout, which I don't think, in Starfield, which I don't think you'll need in Fallout. And it could be highly interesting to see what this game turns out to look like and play like. I think the remakes will be Unreal, but I feel like Bethesda just, going to Unreal for everything maybe that's not my desire, but we'll see. It's like, dude, if you go to Unreal, I just don't know if Unreal is if it can handle like the future of interactivity that Bethesda probably wants to put in a game where every item, Oblivion handled it pretty well though. I mean, just being brutally honest, Oblivion did handle it pretty well.
Yeah. Maybe they have a good formula from that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, got to use what you learn, right? And then
how did Crimson Desert do it? Did they have a different engine, or was it Unreal?
So Crimson Desert's engine, it's a very intelligent way in which they did their engine, but it brought its own issues that nobody wanted to mention until later on. Like, I don't know what it was about that game, but anytime in the review, in podcasts, I bring up something, I'd be like, because somebody would be like, best engine of all time. Of all time, never a better engine. Easily the best engine of all time, better in reality. And I'd be like, there's pop-in everywhere in that game. So when you're you're in the city, pop-in everywhere. It's because of the way they handle sort of their debris systems, and how they handle their clutter, and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But it didn't have as much interactivity for items, like picking up an item in Starfield where you got physics on the item. So instead of putting rocks in the inventory, you put them in the back of the ship, and then you take off, and now you have, you've got this sort of cheat mode kind of thing going on. They didn't have that kind of stuff. But they did a great job. Crimson Desert is amazing, but it's not the same. I would love to see another fantasy game use Crimson Desert. I mean, Crimson Desert also had a lot of issues with control and stuff. Fallout does too. Let's make no mistakes about that. Neither one are known for like high fidelity. Dude, a game is rough when it's got 2 jump buttons, technically, which Crimson Desert did. I knew we were getting into some rough territory when you basically have 2 jumps. I was like, oy vey, this is going to be something if they've got 2 jumps. I'd rather someone else made a Fallout game using Unreal. Maybe Machine Games can make a shooter where they stay in power armor the whole time. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
If I recall, Crimson Desert's its own engine completely separate from UE5. That would be. I'm trying to think. Yeah, dude, Machine Games like a Wolfenstein power armor moment, but you're in the power armor from Fallout, and suddenly you somehow have good batteries because Fallout's battery packs suck balls.
Yeah,
dude,
make it a bit more usable.
Let me buy
it just
some
was not
battery
practical
packs off of Amazon, right?
Yeah,
like I've got these ones on Amazon. I swear to you, this is what they were using. All right, this is what they were using. Just a normal battery pack. They plug it into the back of the power armor, and they're like, "Okay, go ahead, 300 feet, and then it's going to run out." Yeah,
yeah.
Good times on those games.
That's so true. Those fusion cores are supposed to be the shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're supposed to like keep you on forever, and then in the game you plug that in, and it's
I'm pretty sure the same fusion core that people are fighting over to run cities is the same one that lasts 3 minutes in that suit.
Yeah.
So like, what are we doing here? They should do an Indiana Jones game again. Absolute. I think Indiana Jones is rocking. I don't know where that's go. I don't know what's happening with that, but I would kill for another Indiana Jones. I thought that game was a fucking blast. Indiana Jones was so fun. Great mystery, great puzzles. I agree with you. Would be interested in seeing Rockstar release the medieval open world game. Yeah, it would be cool to see them do that, or a cyberpunk open world game. Just saying. I'm just saying, as a cyberpunk fan, I feel unlistened to. It's almost like if you're a fan of another card game that isn't Magic or Pokemon, or I guess Digimon or whatever is pretty well known. But if you like one of those side card games and you mention it, people are like, does that exist? Yeah, fuck, man. Nobody's going to make this. So is Obsidian doing New Vegas remake? I'm going to hold off on Who's Who, because when we were talking about it last week and we heard some of this stuff was happening, there's some odd questions on who's doing what. So I'm just going to leave that. I don't want to make any guesses. I wasn't told either. I'm not saying I was on that. I was just told that the stuff was for sure it's for sure happening. And then we got the announcement. KK Blaze says, so no one mentioned enemy AI with an above 4th grader reading level and better combat animations. So just do the AI have to read in Fallout? Sorry, that's nitpicky, but now I'm like, no one would have mentioned that most likely. But better combat animations, complex behavior. Yeah, somewhat. I don't really see anybody in Fallout as complex. I think most of the characters in Fallout I fight are a rad scorpion and a dude with some questionable genetics and some really bad bandits. I don't necessarily know if they need to know what a Delta L is and if they've got perfect hand signals for, a pincer movement, but I would like to see them not do this in front of me, whatever, where the guy chooses to go right and then the AI sets him back to going left, and you're like, what are you doing?
That's right. I don't need my enemy mutant to be reading fucking Shakespeare.
Dude.
But if they can, if they can like try to flank me or something.
You're coming into the rocks. There's rocks everywhere. You're coming around this bend, and it's really tight, so you can't see everywhere. And you hear this reverberation, this big voice, and it's like, at first sounds like grumbling or maybe an earthquake or something like that. And as you get closer, you hear like, to be or not to be. And you're like, wait, what? You come around, and he's just this massive fucking Shakespeare quoting. That would be, it'd be a pretty cool character. Just saying.
Yeah, it would be fun.
They've had some cool super mutants and mutants in the game, so I think we can see.
Yeah. Did we ever have like a really intelligent villain in those games?
Well, none of this is spoiling, right? Yeah, game's like 67 years old. Like, dude. Speaking of spoilers, people were. I got multiple people mad even after I said they're spoilers, that they were mad about the spoilers for like 30-year-old movies on the last podcast. I was like, I don't know what to say. Like, at some point, guys, cut out
Yeah.
from the internet.
I mean, I get it though, because if
I
haven't seen an old movie, but
I don't.
it's tough, dude.
Listen,
We got to be able to talk about pop culture as well.
Yeah. God made the universe at the starting of the Bible. Spoiler. So when you look at it, sorry, but I have absolutely no empathy for that shit. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll just have to see, man, because some of this could be awesome, but I don't remember any super smart villains. I'm trying to remember. Didn't we have the really smart super mutant? I remember a super mutant in the in some. This is such a far off memory. In some tunnels, there was a super mutant, and I swear to God, he was like hyper intelligent. Ghouls aren't too bad. I mean, some ghouls have been pretty intelligent in the game. I remember a ghoul in, I think it was 3 that was intelligent. Don't spoil the Odyssey. It's only 3,000 years old. Valentine the detective from Fallout 4 was cool. Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk GTA game would be dope. Yeah. Will the next Fallout game have AI voice acting? Man, if we mean completely AI generated, probably not. But I would say within a year, especially with Unreal, and once Unreal does it, other engines are going to have to make some of the, just so everybody knows this, when one engine makes an improvement, such as Lumen or Nanite or ray tracing support, most other engines, if they want to be comparatively, in sales-wise, if they want to be able to sell to a developer, they have to add that support. Okay, I want to point that out. So you can look at Unreal, and you can see what they've been adding. They've been talking about some Unreal stuff. They've been talking about AI. They've got more plugins. I definitely could see them using AI to clean up audio samples. We're starting to see that already. We're starting to see AI being used for, I would love to see AI be used for leveling. Something we were talking about with the last podcast where you get like audio levels, that kind of stuff, where things just sort of meet better. Look at what happened with Black Flag. Every time Edward talks, it sounds like he's in a fucking box somewhere. It's like, hey, my name is Edward and I'm a pirate. You're like, dude, you sound like you have like a colostomy bag in your neck. What would be cool, though, is if you were able to look at those things and say, using AI as you're baking that data in, say, when this character's here, we need to adjust this. Full AI voice. If there's anybody who would do it, it's probably Bethesda, because I don't feel like they care too much about voice. I feel like, they have Radiant Quests, they have all that kind of stuff. I feel like that's a company that probably would be like, yeah, man, we can have 10 times the stuff. And Microsoft's got AI, but right now the feedback against AI is so heavy that I don't know. It's hard to know.
Yeah.
Fox was a highly intelligent super mutant. There we go. Thank you. There we go. So Fox, F-A-W-K-E-S, was a highly intelligent super mutant you met in one of the old vaults in Fallout 3 had a Gatling laser gun. That is who I remembered. You rock. Khan from Star Trek 2 film is the perfect villain. Intelligent, logical zealot with an axe to grind. Yeah, except I'd kill him in 6 seconds because he's too busy fucking talking and giving me one-liners. Nah, man, Khan, I fucking destroy Khan. I do like Khan, though, as a bad guy. He's one of my favorite. Bethesda voice acting has always been spotty. Oh, trust me. I know. The voice acting, you know how some people, Johnny, have you ever had that friend who likes, do you have a friend who likes wine, where they know wine, where they're like, actually, this was created in the vineyards of Toledo, Oregon, on the sun-dappled side of Mount fucking Frito-Lay. Where somebody knows every. Yeah. Do you have, if you have any of those type of friends?
Yeah, it has notes of asparagus.
Yeah, they'll be like, it's got a fine note of asparagus and a little bit of an aftertaste of doom. Now, then you have your friend who drinks for effect. He fucking drink rubbing alcohol if he could. That's Bethesda's voice acting. And what's weird is they'll get good voice actors. Claudia Christensen, one of my favorite actresses of all time. She's not great, but I love her. I just absolutely love her. She did Babylon 5. She did Highlander, the TV show. Love that lady, man. A little bit of a crush on her, too, back in the day. And she did a bunch of voices, and they were pretty okay. But I don't think Bethesda looks at voice acting the same way we all do. Bethesda doesn't even look at story the way we do. They look at everything as a playground. You don't need the best set of monkey bars in a playground if it's a big playground. Do you know what you need? A set of monkey bars. You don't need the best everything. You can just sort of set the stuff out and be like, it's here, you engage with it. And I think that's their voice acting.
It's more like function over form kind of thing.
Absolutely what it is. Yeah.
It's serving a function. That's what it is.
I prefer Hans Gruber. Yeah, Hans is a good bad guy. Fox was fucking cool. Doesn't Bethesda generally get high-end voice actors and actors? No. They always usually go with the one major prior. You'll get like or major starting character. So you'll get like Captain Picard for 5 minutes. You'll get or at the end of the game, you'll get somebody for like 5 minutes. But in general, they usually go with their status quo group that they have. That's why you hear a lot of the same people in multiple ones. But they usually get like one actor. So I think all of them are also worse than the starting of Morrowind, where the guy's like, and who are you? I think that was Cassius. And then the guy who's like, wake up, the dude who's in the boat. And I believe neither one of those guys are premier voice actors, and they'll stick with me forever. So who's the guy who voiced Kellogg? I don't know. All AI voices had a bunch of variants of Peter Dinklage in this new one. There's a wizard on the moon. I tease Peter Dinklage to no end. I think you can look at that and go, obviously he can act. It's one of my favorite actors. Threshold, that was the voice director. That's just what it was. Yep. That voice director didn't sit him down and say, we need to, got to rub some dirt on it. We got to, you know what I mean? We got to nail this. And they didn't do it. So, who's the guy who voiced Kellogg is the question. And I don't know. Because he did do. Oh, shit. Dude, my favorite actor. Dude, fucking Michael from Battlestar. He's number 2. He was in Fallout. And he was the leader of the cops on Mass Effect Citadel. Michael.
Oh.
He unfortunately is in really bad shape physically. He fell during a fan event and had a brain bleed, and it took him over a year to walk. He's got a Kickstarter / GoFundMe if you guys want to check it out. Michael, did you ever see Battlestar?
Nope. No, I haven't seen it.
That show is so fucking good. And this Michael Hogan, thank you, Jesus, I don't know. Michael Hogan, he's the cop who always gives you shit on the Mass Effect Citadel. He's number 2 in Battlestar, one of the greatest actors. Like, to me, never seen him before. I love when you get that old guy who shows up in a show and you're like, did this guy just start acting at 70? Because how have I not seen him? Oh, such a good actor, man. Yeah, he was in there. It's true. Thank you. Also, didn't Friends, Fallout had Chandler, right? Fallout had the guy who played Chandler. What's his name? He's dead. The one who died of the fentanyl overdose.
Oh, I didn't know he was in the game.
Yeah. He was a huge Fallout fan, and they got him in the game. People on Discord or Twitch or YouTube, who died recently? Who played Chandler? Matthew Perry. Yeah, Matthew Perry. Dude, it's so weird. Having 0 hours of sleep. This is the second day of 0 hours because the puppies destroyed everything in the house. I quite literally can't remember a name.
I never knew his name, by the way. He's always been Chandler to me,
True, yeah. Fallout 5 set in post-apocalyptic Starfield. Yeah, that'd be cool to see some overlap.
Was he pretty young too, or no?
Who? Matthew Perry? No, he was in his 40s.
Was he in his 60s?
No. But he was in his 40s at least. And by the way, he was such a high drug user that in his show he did afterwards, he did a show for like 2 or 3 seasons where he was living with another old guy, and they were like 2 old dudes, like old, like, post mid-life, basically living together. And his words were so slurred. He had a lot of damage. Yeah, it was rough listening to him talk, man.
Rough.
It was a lot of this. He did a interview where they got the friends together to talk about the show, and it was a lot of really thick lip
mouthy.
Yeah. Chuck Liddell kind of thing, where that brain damage happens in that speech center and things just start. It sounds a little bit like I'm doing a Mike Tyson rip, but I'm not. But Mike Tyson's got a lisp. It's not a lisp. It's like just thick. He died at 54, they say.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's see. For Fallout, what about vehicles? Oh, ketamine.
Yeah.
What about vehicles? We would like to see vehicles in a Fallout game. Do we think
I loved your idea of the
Sorry.
flying hub.
Yeah, that would be fun.
You know, yeah, maybe you can customize some stuff, and maybe that is similar to AC, where that gives you a break from gameplay loops and a good like link between different sections. It's something fun you can do while you're flying. Maybe you can build some stuff, or just talk to the characters there, that type of thing. Listening to some radio.
Listening to Fallout radio, man. Hanging
out.
Oh,
yeah. Just hanging.
Yeah, I think vehicle-wise, that's all you could do. You could do a train of some kind, but I think a horse in Fallout would be cool. It would be. That's a good point. We don't talk about natural stuff. Dude, riding on the back of a rad scorpion.
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw a horse in Fallout.
Did we even see a horse skeleton in Fallout? I'm sure we have. I'm sure. I mean, you would think.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Did they all get
either.
nuked? It would be cool if one vault saved a bunch of horses.
Well, isn't it doubly weird that we saw it in the show and it was a premier character that saved the main character's life was a horse because he was pretending to be the cowboy at the birthday party. So like you have the premier animal that saves the main character, but
that would have been the opportunity.
I can't remember.
To use a horse.
Yeah, that would be yeah. Horse is a good idea, man. Rad scorpion, I'd go for riding on the back of a super mutant, like put a little shoulder saddle on him. And he's just like your steed.
Yeah.
Let's see. I need 3 Dog back on the radio. Yeah. Just cow.
You could have a mutated horse.
It was cows
as well.
We have seen cows, 2-headed cows. And
have we?
There's cow corpses, yeah, or something like that. And then you have just like in Outer World, you have a couple of the sort of diseased farm animals. I think in one of them, maybe 2 of them. But
imagine if you have like a ghoul horse. That'd be cool.
Like Death in Darksiders. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be all for that. It's up in the air. See, here's the thing. We're all talking about this. It's probably just going to be Fallout 5 in the same location, doing the same things with VATS looking the same.
I know.
And I'll probably
every time we talk about
happy.
Like the next game. Yeah. Dude.
Brahmin are the cows or / what I guess you would say steers. More like steers in that game. Even the Brahma bull.
Right.
Brahmin. Yeah. Cool. All right, let's see. That's Fallout. Now, so they pushed the emergency button. We got Fallout from them. We got Clockwork Revolution from an Exile. We got Obsidian working on some Fallout stuff. A rumor had popped up that Avowed, not a rumor, this is sort of, but I want to point something out. People were sort of like having hope for this. I don't want to put kibosh hope, but this is something that I know this is real. Just because people are working on a game at a studio, especially a small game, it means absolutely nothing for the future. So there were some people who were really stoked because some developers are still doing Avowed work. You got to think, I just want to point something out so that people understand development. You don't just get to idle on your own shit. It's not like that. Meaning, they're not like, I just want to work on Avowed. 2, even though we're not making it, it would have to have been internal at the company. Financial people would have said, okay, that's okay. You continue to work on it. We'll try to show it to Microsoft later because they're not super interested right now. That can happen. We've also seen tons of times where people work 6 months to a year to 2 years, Ubisoft up to 3 years, and then a game doesn't come out. So it's not, don't be too excited that some people are working on Avowed yet. Even though, as you guys know, I liked Avowed, despite some technical issues. I'm excited for it. But I saw people losing their mind because of a random one post-off kind of thing. And it was like, probably best to just realize that that's not necessarily a unique thing. It's just sort of how sometimes game development works, especially if maybe you don't need those people for 3 or 4 months, but you have the idea that you want to sort of gestate a nest egg idea for later on. We did it. We would split off 3 or 4 of our developers if we had time. We'd be like, these 3 or 4 are working on something that we might do in a year or two. Sort of take a little of your money that you have and put it as a research project, I guess, would be what we'd call it. Trying to remember how we named those, but you know what I mean. You know, long as money's
so I
not
guess
super
don't
tight.
read too much.
Yeah,
into
don't
that.
read too much into
It's
it.
not
But it's cool that it's happening. But yeah, dude. Yeah, just in case. I just want people to feel like they're not constantly getting bad news, because that's what it feels like. It feels like people get so excited, and then even, dude, a couple weeks ago, it was here, maybe it was my personal life, but I was talking to someone. I remember kiboshing somebody's rumor, and they were impacted as if the rumor was real, and I was like, wow, dude, real life is going to hold you down and try to put your head underwater. Don't add to that by just arbitrarily grabbing onto everything and being like, this is going to be this, and, you know, blah, 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 because that's going to be a rough life, man. What else we got for Fallout? Will it be on everything? There's your question.
Great question.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, will it be on everything?
Wow.
Will it be exclusive?
Yeah. I mean, it kind of looks like everything that's going to be purely single player, they're mostly going to keep exclusive at this point. I think that is the intention.
It's a lot of money to keep exclusive. It's a lot of Okay, what about the remakes? Since Oblivion came out on everything, we'll assume that the remakes, right? Right? We'll assume the remakes.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah.
Wouldn't that make sense?
Yeah, I guess Fallout 5 is a big...
That'd be your exclusive, right?
Console seller, you know, thing they want to keep.
And imagine
for sure
getting 3 and New Vegas sort of good, so people get that taste, and then you're like, and if you want it, you have to buy this, you know, $2,200 console. No,
yeah, I think it would be cool too.
PC, but yeah.
Oh yeah,
what would be cool?
Exactly. Would be cool if they say it's out on PS5 too, but you have mod support in Xbox.
I still think that's the way to
go.
So
that's actually the best way to play it, you know?
Yeah, mod support is a big deal. At some point, these companies, especially a company like Microsoft, with so many companies that they just happen to have by happenstance purchased, where mod support is sort of expected or desired on those games. And you look at how it's been added to a couple and how people are still playing them.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys. Somebody has to see that. Somebody has to look at that and be like, well, we're PC too.
Connect the dots.
Connect some fucking dots. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't know. It feels like they're on different pages for the dots. It feels like they have this page over here where for their purchases, but they
different set of dots.
Yeah, it's a different set of dots. They didn't take those pages and then go, okay, now what do we do with them? We've got them. And by the way, they did everything people always asked. Let them cook. What did you hear? You heard all the 13-year-olds out there with their slang. Let them cook, man. Let them cook. Let them cook.
It's giving, bro.
It's not what you want to do when you run a business, man. You don't let them cook, because they'll overcook it or they won't even start cooking, which is what happened with a couple of these companies. So needed to be harder on them and watch things more, which is what she's doing. Hopefully not too much. That's the problem, right? Ratchet effect.
I mean, she can watch me as much as she wants any day, Carrick. You know what I'm saying?
And
let's move on seamlessly block, from there.
If you listen closely and you slow down the audio and then reverse it, you can actually hear us losing the chance to invite the Xbox CEO onto the podcast. I'm just
pretty
joking.
much forever. It's joking. Lost instantly.
I'm totally joking, man. I'm totally joking. I think Elder Scrolls and Fallout might be the only exclusives that would sell Xboxes to those who otherwise wouldn't. Yeah, it could. I mean, I'm talking about the next system, and I think we've all seen that, like, if there's power and something unique, people buy it. But I think with the cost right now, you're probably right. There's probably a couple games. Gears, maybe, if E-Day does well. I think Gears has a pretty high, like, bar. Gears seems like it's got some excitement behind it. In fact, the talk about Gears reminds me of the ancient days when, like, movie stars got grab bags from Microsoft and walked out of stores as if they bought it themselves, right? That was the day. Those were the days where you took a movie star instead of some jackass like me, who's a fucking nobody, and gave them a console, and you didn't even know if they were going to do a video about it or whatever. But instead, they were giving it, like, to the guy who played The Hobbit. You know, I remember him walking out with an Xbox. What's his name? Frodo Smallbaggins. What's the little guy? Elijah Wood, isn't that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, handing out Xboxes in bags to Elijah Wood and shit, which is much more intelligent, I think, than handing it out to a jackass like me. Because you have no clue if I'm going to make a video. I could also be like, hey, it's terrible. Those actors know their thing. Those were the good old days, man. You'd have you'd have Cliff Basinski with his crew cut, or his like mohawk, pretending to like be shooting the games up or the guns up in the air. Man, those were good.
By the way, have you seen these memes of Frodo? Well, the actor Elijah Wood, and like how he looks now versus how he looked then, and it's like identical.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt
the
it.
meme is like, did he really throw that ring into the fire?
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Yeah, shit.
Oh shit! That changes everything. He's genuinely a very, very lucky man, because he really does seem to age quite well. Like, but he's also cherubish looking. He has that, he's got that little young type of face to him. You know who's looking older now, bro? Spider-Man. What's his name?
Tobey Maguire?
No, Toby's looked old for a long time. I meant the one who's playing it now.
Yeah. Oh, Holland?
Yeah,
Tom Holland?
Holland's getting the crinkles on the edge of the eyes and stuff, probably from smiling too much, which is, hey, nothing wrong with that. It's the way I want.
All that sun
if you're
shooting
gonna
Odyssey.
age, it should be because you're banging Zeldana or whatever her fucking name is, and you're doing your movies and you're having a great time. And that's
there goes our chance to ever interview.
There goes our chance to interview
her as well.
Or somebody from Arrakis. There goes the chance. Paul Rudd and Elijah Wood have elven blood. Yeah, Paul Rudd also looks really good. That's
true.
Him and Ralph Macchio. Ralph Macchio in the old days, not anymore. Ralph Macchio fucking got some straight up quick aging. He's like one of those dogs you get that they're completely fine, and then the next day they're gray mouthed, and you're like, what fucking happened? What happened? That's basically Ralph, man. But yeah, Ralph looked young for like 40 years. Did you see that meme about Robert Pattinson that's the same age as Ben Affleck when he played Batman right now and looks... Did you see the meme about Robert Pattinson that he's the same age as Ben Affleck when Ben Affleck, I guess, is what he's saying, when he played Batman right now and looks way younger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens all the time. Remember when I was I was telling you I had this crisis because I realized I'm as old now as John Glover was in Smallville when he played Lex Luthor's dad. You remember John Glover?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's John Glover, the guy with the long hair.
Well, I mean the Lex Luthor dad, but I don't know.
Yeah, the dad. And he looked, very classy gentleman.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
We just don't see it that way, though. Something about a TV show can hold that person's age forever. I still see William Shatner, and I'm like, I'm older than him when he played Captain Kirk, I'm sure, in the original series, but I look up to him as if somehow he's always going to perpetually not be that,
Yeah, I can see that.
Steve Martin looked the same for a long time. He did. Yeah, a lot of people do. Or you play, or you act in video games, you don't have to worry about it because they just alter it out, change your look. Yeah. Unless it's, Star Wars Outlaws, and then somehow they fuck it up. Yeah, I said it. I said it. So, Fallout, coming back. Emergency button hit by Microsoft. I think it's a good plan. I don't really see any issues with what I've heard. I know people are unhappy, and I agree. Because I like that Microsoft in particular was doing some side games at one time, and now we're probably going to sort of solidify back. But we're seeing that from Sony. We're seeing that from everybody right now. It's just sort of the industry. I hope it goes away quick. But I'll tell you what, a new Gears, a new Halo, some more Fallout.
Yeah.
Elder
we're
Scrolls.
not going to complain, about getting those big games.
Some people, about getting those in particular. No, we will not. But in the gap, you're going to have the complaints about we don't.
Someone always will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, rip Sam Neill. Yeah, Sam Neill didn't even die of cancer too, which is crazy. Sam Neill had one of the better, if not the best, current technological, I guess you would call it, cure, but it's not. because it's cancer. You're in cancer all the time. You're basically in remission till the cancer shows up somewhere, right? Like cancer's just there waiting, like a bad
You're just
appendix in
watching.
every human cell. It's just like, I'm gonna fuck you up when I want. I'm gonna show up. But he had an incredible medical trial cure that went on, was in full remission, and died of pneumonia because it worked so well. It took him a while to get back to like autoimmune system, trying to get back up, and he passed away. And that, I love that guy, man. Love him.
Yeah, dude was legendary.
In the Mouth of Madness. Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah.
Dude, In the Mouth of Madness is fucking such a
fantastic
shit fucking horror movie, man. And I mean, people say Jurassic Park, but he was in fucking so many movies that it's easy to be like, oh, like Jurassic Park, but he's in a ton of shit. He's like when John Noble dies, it's gonna crush me. John Noble, like Walter from fucking Fringe and shit. That's gonna be like that guy's. Both those two.
That man is precious as a treasure of humanity.
Yeah, dude, I love those guys, man. Love some of those older actors because it doesn't really matter. They don't even have to be the bad guy. And they didn't always be the bad guy. That's what was actually great. Sometimes you get an older actor and you sort of know.
They're always the bad guy.
Yeah, they're going to be like Nemesis number one instead. Well, he did play Scarecrow, right? In Batman Arkham Knight, he was a Scarecrow voice actor. John Noble was. But John Noble's been all kinds of crazy shit, like he was in L.A. Noire. I forgot. He was in L.A. Noire as well, so. Sam Neill was in Merlin. Yeah, he was in. Dude, I'm telling you, that's exactly it. Like Sam Neill was in a ton of shit, man. Go look it up. You'll see that guy. That guy was pretty prolific, man. And one of the nicest people in the world. Like, and Peaky Blinders. Yeah, he was a bad guy in Peaky Blinders, though. He's a piece of shit in Peaky Blinders. Some of the worst things imaginable have done with the best of intentions, Dr. Alan Grant. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, he had some great one-liners. Jurassic Park had some bangers, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, man. Sad. Those were times of my life growing up and watching that first Jurassic Park and being like, dude, it'd be so cool if this was real. And then I realized I'd be eaten right away. I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you'd definitely be like, dude, I've got a black belt, Kempo, fucking been fighting all my life.
Yeah, just eat it instantly. Yeah.
How your feet can't spin kick if there's no fucking torso connected to them. They just wobble and fall. But it's like when you think about it, you're like, dude, what would I do? I would go instead of like Nidri fucking rolling the car and the thing spitting on him. It's like, no, I'd karate chop it, whatever. And then you're like, nah, you die.
I've been listening to some of these podcasts where they explain like what we really think dinosaurs looked like, and it turns out the velociraptors were greatly exaggerated in those movies. Like they might be sort of like a big chicken.
I'm pretty sure they said the velociraptors in real life are basically the compies that are in 3. The little small ones that kill the guy who takes a dump and they catch up. Yeah. But I'll tell you what.
You could martial arts your way out of there.
30 teethy chickens, teethy aggressive reptile chickens
30,
trying to attack
you're screwed.
I think you're screwed, yeah. I mean, if they were trying to kill you, if they were like legitimately, because like try to fight off one cat, and you're like, I could probably do that. I'd get scratched up. But then if I said, I'm going to release 30 cats, The Rock is fucked up. I'm sorry. Like they're cats, they're gonna fuck you up, and then you think these things are lizard creatures.
The first cat is gone, but then
first cat leaps. See, I've thought this through because I really imagine if this happened. But first cat, you grab it by the neck, you snap it, you throw that back, then another one leaps, it's scratching you, but you got it by half the back leg, and you swing it. And now you swing it back down, you let go. That'll take out a couple.
You get some area of effect with that sucker.
Have you ever seen they're supernaturally fast, man? 2 cats fighting is like watching particle physics. I've never seen
it's like a Dragon Ball Z.
It's ridiculous.
Do you ever see Dragon Ball Z where the guys are like, ching, ching, ching?
And by the way, Dragon Ball Z needs to be sped up by like 10 times if it's 2 cats. Because I had 2 cats fight because we had a lot of cats when I was a kid. And I swear to you, I never figured out how both of them got hurt. Because they attacked so fast that I didn't see what bite worked, but they were both damaged at the end, and I was like, dude, that's some ridiculous shit. So I think some dinosaurs we have like different thoughts on what they are. I think the biggest thing with dinosaurs we forget is that the time is a 3D construct, not just 2D. We think of it as going back. But when you look at it as 3D, you start looking at what was beside themselves, and you realize Tyrannosaurus Rex didn't overlap with 90% of the shit we see it in cartoons and movies with. Tyrannosaurus Rex was a different time. There were different dinosaurs at different times compared to the other dinosaurs. So some dinosaurs we see, and you're like, oh, wow, could a Tyrannosaurus take down a blank? And you find out there was 500 million years between the two, or some crazy shit, you know?
Yeah, like that's always disappointing.
Yeah. Anyway, grab the first 2 chickens by the head, and then you're dual-wielding rabid chickens. Much easier that way.
Okay. Yeah.
Unlike in the movies, the Tyrannosaurus Rex had excellent vision. Yeah. I mean, I agree with that, but I do think standing still might have also worked, because if he's eaten, you don't want to trigger a prey response. If you've ever had a dog that's got a prey response, it's a disaster if you have a little kid run from them. I've seen dogs and children play for 10 hours, and then the kid runs away from the dog, and the dog's like, that's prey.
It's go time.
They didn't bite the kid. I'm just saying they'll knock him down or something, because they just, or a herding dog.
Okay.
Where you get a dog.
Because it was getting a bit dark. The whole description.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was, they mauled that kid. They ate him. I don't know who the kid was either, because they jumped over the fence from the park. So I was like, whatever, one kid down, right?
Yeah.
Cats with guns are a real problem. Cats with guns are a real problem. I don't know, man. Trying to hit one with I called it a talon, but a claw. Yeah, cats with guns.
They don't have the thumbs for that. Yeah, it wouldn't work.
But what if the cat gun just fired other cats at high speed?
Yeah. Or if someday we get cats with opposable thumbs, we're screwed.
Yeah.
Because then they don't need us.
A good dinosaur. Let's talk about dinosaur. So we got Fallout, and you got these different creatures. Some of them, like, what are the big scarab things? But anyway, you got rad scorpions, you got centaurs. You have, I think is what they were called in Fallout. I hope they add new monsters in Fallout, because we're talking about dinosaurs and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, you know what? The one thing I feel that Fallout, it did well, because not everything would be its own genus, right? Every single creature wouldn't be mutated, because it wouldn't even make sense. It would just be like, oh, this thing's just mutated, and it can't breed. It's like an ass or a donkey where it's sterile, whatever. You wouldn't see more. So they did a good job with a couple. But I don't know about you. I would like to see a couple new creatures in Fallout. Like a couple solid enemies. And I don't know what they would be, but like...
Yeah, something different.
Something different, yeah. And did we have a lot of what did we have? The blood flies or whatever in Fallout? We had a couple flying enemies, but like I'd like to see more flying enemies.
The rad cockroaches, that kind of stuff.
Right. That were basically the silt striders of Fallout. Did you ever... Oh my God. Fighting flying characters in the fucking Elder Scrolls game sucks so bad.
Oh yeah, terrible.
Man, I'm getting like anxious thinking about seeing those fucking things in Morrowind, and they just be flapping their wings in place because the AI hadn't turned on, like an old James Bond game.
Yeah,
and you just see them flying, and you'd be like,
but it's like buggy, and they can hit you. You can't really hit them.
Of course, because the game is going to hinge on them hitting you for sure.
Oh, you bet. Yeah.
They should get a bunch of enemies from Fallout 76. This is a great idea. I think Fallout 76 is exploding in popularity, really, for them exploding, which could be just 2 people instead of 1. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Fallout 76
beyond
is doing very
their moms.
Beyond fams and fam friendly is what it's called for developers, where they get codes. No, that would be great. See some extra enemies pop in. That'd be awesome. I'd love to see some more enemies. And I think that if you're going to uncork this, right? If you're like, this is like the first time you've liked somebody for a long time, and she finally likes you, and like, we're going to have sex, and you are stretching and you're working out and you're getting ready. Like, in a month, it's time to tap the oil.
Right.
Well. So you're working on your back. You're making sure there's no possibility of cramps.
Working on your thrusts.
You got it. Yeah. There is no chance of getting any interviews with Microsoft. Anyway, so you're doing all this.
Yeah.
And
we'll close that bridge.
They open up Fallout for Fallout 5. They're like, we're making it. I feel like now's the time to actually do this extra stuff. This is why I was saying it'll probably be the same, but I really hope it isn't. I do hope they add new monsters. I do hope that you get one of those helicopter thing. I mean, like that would be it would be awesome. Look at Fallout 4. They had a massive base buildings. I know that some people didn't like the way it was done, but I think a lot of people like the ability to have a base, even if that one didn't work for them. There's a lot of creatures you could do, dude. There's a lot of just depends on where you are, right? We have bobcats, bears. You could have. Wait, Johnny, did Fallout have mutant bears? Why do I think it did? Or is that Stalker maybe? Did Fallout have?
I don't think so.
Are you sure? Okay,
I'm not like on all of them, no. But the recent ones I don't remember.
I feel like they did. Okay, so anyway, you look at America, like what are your indigenous dangerous shit, right? We don't have like honey badgers, unfortunately. But we've got a ton of wild cat animals.
Sure.
Like they're
mountain
everywhere.
lions.
Yeah.
That
we
kind
got
of stuff.
wolves. A lot of wolves in various areas. Not a huge population, but we still got a bunch. Snakes, no go. Most of our snakes are the gardener snake variety. We got brown recluse. We got one or two spider types. Not great. Sort of the pussies of spiders. But a spider enemy, a mutated spider enemy would be good. Oh, here we go. People are thank you guys for answering. Sorry, I was yakking. Let's see. Thrustmaster 5000. Is that back to us talking about getting ready to bang? Avowed had the bears. Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Metro
but any of those
bears.
could work, right? A ghoul version.
The wild man's thinking like me. What about dogs with bees in their mouths, and then when you open their mouths, they shoot bees at you? See, that's me, that's the exact success that you want, because dogs love to eat bees anyway. Wolves, big cats, moose, rattler. Yeah. See, snakes. I don't think snakes are fun in a game like Fallout. Have you ever tried to shoot a snake in like a Far Cry game or whatever? They're never the greatest enemy because they're stuck in the grass. They're hard to see. They don't feel fun. I think with Fallout, you'd want the, mutated spider.
Yeah. A big ass moose.
Dude, we have bats. We've got bats. Big ass.
Yeah.
America isn't really known for moose as much as like Canada.
Oh, yeah, too. It's more like up north.
Yeah, if you had a Canadian moose invasion of 2037 or whatever, and those fuckers come over, get a little sentience because of the fucking atomic power, suddenly they're doing puzzles and shit, and they're planning attacks. Dude, if I see
a ghoul moose, I'm running. Oh, there's no way.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there's no amount of guns that,
I forgot about that. Cougars can be pretty dangerous. They can be.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, snakes in games always suck. Thank you, because they really do, man. I would love it.
Yeah.
So Fallout's got the chops. But it would depend on where. You could do a zoo where the zoo creatures got out, because our zoos have some pretty eclectic shit. Polar bear.
Yeah, that's a cool premise.
Shit, can you imagine a ghoul chimp or a ghoul silverback gorilla?
Gorilla. Yeah, dude.
That'd be scary. Rad toads in Fallout 76 are cool. Okay, so give me some Fallout. Well, we're going to move on in a little bit and start talking about other stuff. But real quick, Fallout 76 players, what are some of the creatures in that, by the way, that you would like to see in Fallout? Because I'm not up on my Fallout 76. Need big lizards. Yeah, I think big lizards would be good. A moose is the size of an SUV. Yeah. Ohio has lots of spiders. They do. Yeah. But I mean, are spiders just, I guess I think of Australia as being, the shit, right? How many?
Well, yeah, but they're going to be mutated. Yeah. So they're going to be big, anyway.
Imagine a giant mutated squirrel chasing after your nuts. I think anything chasing after my nuts is scary. I don't care if it's a supermodel.
Yeah, squirrels are kind of cute, though. It doesn't quite work.
They are, but they're also dicks. Squirrels are assholes, man. Squirrels are the dolphins of the wildlife family. You can't trust them. Yeah, dude. Squirrels and dolphins, those are both some creepy-ass creatures. I thought they were just happily
hanging.
Squirrels will fuck up birds. Squirrels will go in, fuck up bird nests. Squirrels are sort of, they're the dolphins where everybody sort of looks at them and goes, oh, look at fucking Flipper. Flipper's so great, but don't leave Flipper with your girlfriend because dolphins are rapists. There's things. I'm not saying a chipmunk is, but I'd watch him anyway. I wouldn't and chipmunks, the flying ones, dude. Can you imagine 6-foot wingspan, flying chipmunk, maybe a little
Oh
ghoul.
God.
That'd be a cool bad guy. That'd be a cool
Yeah.
bad guy, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. Mutated King Cobra, Scorch Beast is kind of iconic at this point in Fallout 76. Okay. Mothman. Dude, I would kill for a fucking Mothman. God damn. Mothman is one of the best myths ever. Complete, absolute bullshit. And still, I sort of hope it's real because the Mothman is scary as fuck. Bigfoot. Ooh, a actual Bigfoot thing in Fallout would be cool. So
what's Mothman doing? Is he just like in your closet sniffing your clothes?
No, it's not that type of Mothman. Basically, all started when some people were driving past an industrial plant and they thought they saw what was I guess you would say, a large man-sized creature, 5-6 feet, very tall, and was able to fly. And it chased them out of this industrial facility. It was like a steelworks or something like that. I believe at the time it was abandoned. But what happened was a couple days later, a bridge fell. And the myth became that this thing showed up prior to large disasters, prior to large issues. Then Richard Gere made a movie that was really good called The Mothman. And he sort of, I believe, people can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Richard Gere was a journalist at the time investigating something, and it started calling him on the phone. So now you've got Mothman not only flying, not only able to see the future and decide where shit's going to fall, but also dialing collect to Richard Gere. So the Mothman, scary as fuck. That guy, I mean, look at that. He's making phone calls. He's fucking able to see the future. He's 6 foot and able to fly and still be scary because remember, the bigger the creature, the lighter they have to be.
He's got great hair, doesn't he?
He's probably got great hair. Yeah. Mothman's probably got like old, maybe Gary Busey, old Nicolas Cage hair. Like back when they had real hair, you know. Mothman prophecies, yeah. Justin Davis from IGN supposedly saw the Mothman, he says. Yeah, I don't want to... Listen, I saw something, and so whenever anybody says they saw something, I'll agree. I've seen something as well. And I have no clue what it was. So, like, no harm, no foul. I loved Mothman, though, as a myth. See, do you guys have myths in London? Or is it just that, you know, the world's watching you on your CCTVs? Like, is there anything that you remember when you were growing up where they were like, watch out for the whistling man or something? You're like, what the fuck is that? Ghosts?
Not too much, man. We had, in Brazil, where I was born, we had myths about giant flying cockroaches, those that were big enough to fly continuously
and like get a kid or something like that big.
So, okay, no, not quite like that, but stories of like people spotting like whole groups of these massive cockroaches that would be like maybe they have a nest in a supermarket or somewhere dirty, and then they're flying as a big group. And they could like go into a house, and all of a sudden you're invaded by it. It's nasty.
That's disgusting, man.
We also had the flies that could like bite you and like put like stuff inside of your skin that then like
larvaed out.
Larvaed out into like other bugs and shit.
Yeah,
terrible.
Spring Heel Jack is an old myth in London. Yeah, Spring Heel Jack is probably second in my favorite of all time. Mothman, Spring Heel Jack, Bigfoot. But Spring Heel Jack, just because of who saw it and the different time areas and what they reported, just seemed weird and otherworldly. And then also the Devil Walked in Devon is probably one of my favorites too, where the hoof prints were found in the snow that went for like 50 miles. They couldn't figure out how that happened. That was really cool. Anyway, moving on from there. Thank you very much for all of the answers for creatures and stuff like that. It'll be cool to see what Fallout does. What do we got for questions in the Discordian? Yeah, Jack the Ripper wasn't a myth, though. I just want to point out Jack the Ripper was real.
That was actually real, right?
Yeah, Jack the Ripper is. I think he's just saying Jack the Ripper is also a crazy thing in London. Which agreed.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
What do we got for questionos?
This one from Big Mac. With at least 2 new Fallout games in the works, what locations would you like to see in the next Fallout game? Set in Fallout Portland, Fallout Milton Keynes. That's city in the UK. That would be so lame, though. Because I studied
Oregon.
I studied close to Milton Keynes.
Oh, did you?
And it's like the lamest kind of like small town. Like you have one pub in, in one concert arena that people go to. That's it. And no guns, by the way. You know, that's the inconvenience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we answered all those, right?
Yeah.
With Fallout?
Yeah, we hit that.
Do you think Fallout will ever be outside North America? I don't think so. But yeah. What were you going to say?
Yeah, it seems really tied to like all the lore.
It's Americana in it. I mean, dude, even the way it is Americana. You can still do it for sure, but I don't think of the full game. I don't think
could be a spin-off.
Absolutely. DLC, like the mods.
Japanese.
Yeah. Fallout Japan, Fallout China. That'd be awesome. Fallout Siberia, where you just go outside and die and you can't even live. It's just that cold. You just go out.
Yeah, it's just over. Episode 1, it's already over.
Episode 1, dead. You go out, Fallout Siberia, you go out, you try to move, everything freezes in place, and you're like, fuck. Fallout Sahara, you just go out, die, super bright, sunny.
Instantly, yeah.
What else we got?
Great. This one from Cyanide, he says, as older player who started with Fallout 1 and 2, I wouldn't mind going back to roots. Do you think that off projects for Fallout with isometric look and turn-based movement like they are doing with Star Wars Zero Company or Gears Tactics would be too much to ask?
No, we covered this for almost an hour last podcast.
Pretty much.
I would kill for that.
Could work.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be
as a side
smart
thing.
Yep.
We like you wouldn't ever like sacrifice Fallout 5 to do, tactics. But yeah, as a side thing, I think it could tie really well.
Look at Gears of War Tactics. It's amazing. If you did a Fallout on the side and, like a Tactics or something like that, you did, which they've done, but you do these side ones. They did Fallout Shelter. There's a shit ton Fallout. You said, do you remember your idea last week? Because I remember our discussions. Do you remember? I'm going to test you. Do you remember our discussions? What did you offer as a suggestion for Fallout? Do you remember?
Johnny. Futuristic?
No,
didn't we?
You said Telltale. Do you remember?
Oh.
We were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
You were like Fallout Telltale would be cool. Because I
thought that was you, actually.
No,
that suggested.
We were talking on the same lines, but I didn't say the name Telltale. I was talking about like almost Wolf Among Us, but I didn't say the word Telltale, and then you did, and it sort of solidified the entire conversation.
Yeah.
It's cool. You're here, but not here. It's whatever. Anyway, no, I'm just joking. Yeah, dude, that'd be sweet, man. Wouldn't it, though?
Nice.
You could have Fallout Tactics. You could have, I love the idea of that, and I think more companies need to do it smartly. Fallout Shelter was great as a free, as just this game on mobile. That was epic. They did such an incredible job. Yeah. Such a good idea. Yeah, I would kill for that kind of stuff. What else do we got?
This one from Sully. With some games like Red Dead 2 or Crimson Desert, I would occasionally watch videos on where to find items such as armor sets or gold bars. However, lately I'm starting to avoid any walkthroughs altogether, to the point of limiting social media to avoid the "you must go here for this right away." Just curious as to how others handle the information overload and access to easy find guides. Do you have particular games where you'll tell yourself you will absolutely not watch any how-tos for? That's interesting. Do you have a strong stance in terms of watching a guide for a game you're playing?
I won't watch guides for games I'm playing. If they give you a PDF, I hate it. And I'll usually not open it. But do you know what they do now? They'll put the goddamn NDA data in the PDF. So like it used to be in an email, but they'll be like, read page 7.
You still have to read it now.
And then they'll be like, oh, by the way, here's spoilers. Please don't put those in the game. List of shit that you don't want to see if you're just playing the game. List of shit, just right there. It'll just be like, this guy dies, this guy dies, this guy dies, this guy died, this guy's a bad guy. And you're like, dude, what are you doing? So AI would be a great place to help with this, where like somehow you could, if you were a reviewer, you could be like, what should I not spoil? But don't tell me when it's going to happen. Just sort of give me an idea where they say, if you see the red sash, don't record this part or something like that. I don't worry about what I watch. I don't mind spoilers. I don't care about one thing so much that would frustrate me. If I just like Star Wars, maybe. If I just like Spider-Man, maybe. If I just like one thing, but I like so many games that, and as I've gotten older and you have other experiences, you're just like, there's very few things in the world that matter less than if I find out blah, blah, blah. And that's for me. I still try to control them for other people. But for me, I don't look because I think it affects the review. But if I'm not reviewing a game, I probably will look. I'll probably be like, maybe not like, what are the spoilers, but maybe is the ending good or something, something like that. I don't know. And I definitely don't look for like, where do you find stuff? I don't want that at all. I don't ever want to be told there's a suit of armor. Let me give you the best example. Crimson Desert comes out, and I got Crimson Desert, and organically, for reasons I cannot describe to you and will always be a mystery to me, I turned right and I went to a very specific place, and there was an epic suit of armor and weapon there. And I remember thinking to myself, the chances of me going to this spot, climbing this rock, moving over here and saddling across this waterfall to get up this area, that's going to make my experience more special than most people who play it, at least in the review phase. I would not want that to be ruined. I would not want that sense of discovery of going like, whoa, what the fuck is this? Take a right instead of a left. Take a left instead of a right. Do you look for stuff? Do you look up like, I don't know, best armor or hidden weapons or stuff like that?
Every time I've done it, it felt really bad right after. It's almost like putting a cheat code in GTA.
Right, in GTA.
It feels good for 2 minutes.
Totally get
and
you.
Then like your fun is ruined. I did that for Crimson Desert, where a short popped up like, oh, you need to get this armor. Here it is. And I saw it. I was weak. I watched it. I saw it. And then I went there, got the armor. And it was just kind of cheap. It felt cheap. I didn't discover that. Like you said, it wasn't a cool moment. And yeah, so I think I tried to avoid that kind of thing. There will be games where maybe you get stuck and you legitimately need some help. Could be a hard game like Elden Ring, Shadow of the Earth Tree. For that one, I think I needed to look a few locations of the beans to upgrade yourself, that kind of thing. But that's how I view it. If it's something that is preventing me from progressing, then I might get help. Yeah, or maybe a really tough boss. I might see like, oh, how do other people tackle this? That kind of thing.
I think this goes, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe you don't know, but I think it might connect to my desire for no HUD gaming too, because I don't want to know how to, if I know how to get there, I won't remember how I got there. And the experience of finding that armor in Crimson Desert will never be replaced, meaning I'll remember this awesome moment. Or Far Cry Primal, turning the HUD off and realizing that I knew a hill, even though I'd never gone to this hill from this direction, I knew it by basically flipping the items on the left and right and going, I know where I am. I'm actually on the other side of this hill, and coming up over that hill, and the world appeared genuinely different because I had walked in a way that the game's missions would have never required. And to me, that experience will never go away. It will never be replaced by anything. And I choose what I play. I don't choose to play a shit ton of random stuff. I think people who want to play every game can't do that. They do look up because they'll say they don't have the time. I am lucky enough to have the time to play what I want, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think turning off your minimap and compass and stuff like that is probably one of the only things I can say I feel like I've added to. I'm not saying I was first person, but I did do some videos on it when it wasn't being covered as much when I first started. And I remember there was a forum that shall not be named, huge forum, and I posted like No HUD Gaming, and I was like, guys, check out this game, do this, and I wrote sort of this thing out. and even seeing other YouTubers start to talk about it, who even they were nice enough to reference, and they were like, "Hey, I was talking, I read this thing by Carrick, so I went and tried it, and holy shit." That to me is like one of the coolest moments, because it feels like almost when you tell somebody there's a movie series they've never seen and they see it, and you're like, you and I now have this DNA. It's like this thing isn't super popular, but you and I now know about it. That's the way I feel with No HUD, and now it's become more and more to where Assassin's Creed lets you remove it, Far Cry, multiple shooters. I think that's amazing. I think it's amazing people are getting to experience it, but it's just not for everybody. Some people just don't have the time. They're just too busy, or they want to play everything. I'm glad I don't have that. I don't know about you. I don't get FOMO much either. What about you, though? Do you like turning it off? Do you leave it on because it's less confusing?
Yeah, if I feel just lost, I don't know like where to go, what to do at all, then that does feel bad. But they're doing a better job now, giving you other clues, which is nice. Like these games are kind of thinking it through more, how they want to present the no HUD, instead of it just being it's off, but guess what? You needed it to basically operate in the game, and now you're screwed.
Yeah. I feel like game developers and gamers right now have a pretty big disconnect in that way. And I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure you've seen it in your own Discord or in my Discord, where you'll see somebody complain about not seeing something, and you're thinking in your brain, how the fuck did you not see that?
Yeah.
But I think that the golden path kind of thing can help you if you need to get somewhere and there's a question, you want to get through it. But not having that on, your brain has to memorize spots because it's consistently making checkpoints. It's like quick saves of memory to say, if I come back to stump A, I need to know that on the right, that's where a bad guy is 50 feet past it. So when I'm coming back this way, if I do go over a hill and I see that stump, I'll know that 50 feet prior to it is the bad guy. That's just how we work when we're out camping or you're out trail walking or whatever. And
you're forced to store this, these reference
data.
Points.
And then you remember the trip, dude. You remember Death Stranding is probably the best example of a game that does it without. It's still got, ways to track things. But what I mean by this is it might be the best popular example of exploration that I get in more games than just Death Stranding. Death Stranding gave it to more gamers, but I, luckily enough, have done it, and you have, and people who do this have done it, that I feel like it's this thing that I wish more people would do. I wish more people would just turn a bit off at a time. Just a bit. Just a bit.
Yeah, I like the dynamic options, where basically like they remove stuff when you're not using it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's still a bit of a tough balance because, for example, Shadows had the mode, I think it was called Exploration or something.
Yep.
Where, you didn't have a marker. It would tell you like, hey, ballpark, it's going to be like in this location, south, or like, in the center in this location. And then you have to go there and look. And I like the process of looking because I found a lot of stuff I wouldn't have found otherwise. And I was forced to register these reference points to not get lost. But at the same time, it can be frustrating when you're looking for that one thing you're supposed to find, but you're not finding it. So it's tricky, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. Tomb Raiders have stymied me in the past with puzzle solutions where I'm like, I don't know where I'm supposed to fucking jump. Or I'm obviously past the point of like, I need to go left, but you can also climb up, which then resets you back to the bottom because there's a portcullis that drops or something, whatever. And I'll be like, what the fuck? And I'll get almost sick to my stomach from looking, from like doing the quick look with the keyboard, mouse and keyboard, or with the controller. And I do get frustrated. So I know exactly where you're coming from. I definitely know some games have made me be like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Let's see. I would still take the world of Aora. That's Avowed, right? Over anything Fallout? Yeah. Eternal says Dynamic HUD is my way to go when it's available, but not if games provide it. Yeah.
Yeah. Dynamic is good. I have found that in these games, you don't really need the combat HUD. So I personally turned it off on mine. Like AC Black Flag, for example, is not a game where you need to like be super careful
Right.
about
Absolutely
you know
true.
resources you have and that kind of stuff. You can kind of just flow with it. You will see when you're low HP, that kind of thing, right? Because the screen reacts to it. So I do recommend trying to remove that one. I had a good time removing some of those parts.
I remember doing the walking the walk for Watch Dogs 1. And I believe his name is Andre. I'll have to go back and look. But one of the developers who watched it and DM'd me and was like, I worked on this fucking game and I didn't know half the shit exists that you're seeing, because he was working on the game. He didn't have the time, right? But the number of people who do post that on the walking the walks indicates at least a small cluster of gamers who do like that kind of stuff, who do like to explore and just see sort of same thing. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. There were multiple times in that game where I was like, this is some people would say a cherished memory is like, let's say Shepard living at the end of Mass Effect 1. That's amazing. But if you look at the way Mass Effect 1 was set up, the rest of it was chutes and ladders, the game. It was like, you go here, if you go to the right or you go to the left, guess what? You're going to end up, they're going to join, you're going to end up there at the same, it's going to be pretty linear, you're going to go. And one of the things about games like playing Kingdom Come like this, that's why I think these games are popular to a large segment. I say a small segment, but you look at Gothic or something, it sells quite well. So a small segment and billions of people is still millions of people, right? That's still a small segment, is millions of people. But what I like is my memories of Far Cry 5, for instance, has maybe 2 cutscene memories and then maybe 200 location memories. If I were to say, what are my memories of Far Cry 5? It's coming over the hill and finding this. It's a funny thing that happened here. And none of it involves quick travel. The same thing with Dragon's Dogma. I have more of a nostalgic warmth for Dragon's Dogma 1 and 2 because of the walk. The experience of...
I remember the journeys, the
journeys.
times I got attacked at night, that type of thing.
Dude, Dragon's Dogma 1 might still, for the rest of my life, have the best memory. And that's taking that griffin, is it the griffin head? It's the snake thing's head to the village in Dragon's Dogma 1. And it's starting to get nighttime. And you come over the hill and you see Grand Soaring, which I love the name, like Grand Soaring almost, It's the only light in the darkness, really. Everything's fading. And you see the lanterns and you come down and it gets darker and darker and darker as you get closer and closer. And it's almost like a math test or whatever, where you have two questions and you have 2 minutes. Both should take a minute, or one should take 30 seconds. One has to take a minute 30, but you got to get both done. And I remember there was this computational travel math in my brain going, can I get there? Can I get there in time of darkness? And then it got dark and you hear that first zombie come out of the ground. And you're like, that's the way to start a game. Unlike Bethesda, who, while I like their startings, is like, you're in a prison and the king is here and you're going to walk him out and then he'll die and then you'll go explore, right? It's sort of just thrust upon you with no real experience other than almost like watching a playable cutscene and being able to sort of move around in it. That's why I think some games get ignored for their startings. And some games are like, dude, Red Dead starting's amazing. I get that. Graphically, it is. And it's Red Dead, so it's hard to deny. But as an experience, I will not remember Red Dead 1 or 2's beginning like I remember Dragon's Dogma. It will never go away. It will consistently, for the rest of my life, be like top tier of giving you game mechanics without even explaining it to you. It's like it starts getting dark and you start realizing dark is dark in that game. And you're like, uh-oh, I don't think this is going to work out the way most games, which are bright at nighttime, work out. Like, look at Skyrim, which I love. Skyrim, the Aurora Borealis is literally on your eyeballs. It's so bright. It's like, doesn't matter where you go. You feel like you're beaming light out into the world. So startings
Yeah.
for games, dude, they'll be interesting forever. Starfield, terrible starting for a game. And I think dramatically impacted people's desire to continue to play.
True, it was
Bro,
pretty terrible.
Todd.
Yeah.
Todd, you have a part in every game. If I interviewed Todd, I would love, and by the way, I wouldn't this is like I'm joking with you, but I would love to be like, how? How?
Yeah.
What? Why? Why? How? 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 Look at it. How? How did that happen? Fucking how? Because how did a bunch of people get together and go, I got an idea? And that was the idea that you came out with when you're in a world about starships and yeah, dude, it's I almost have no words for that.
Your mining crew and, somehow here's a ship.
In today's day and age of these huge titles, my firm belief is the first couple hours do matter tremendously.
I think so.
And your intro to them tremendously. And I feel and will always feel that some of, not a majority, just some of the reaction for a lot of people was like, this is not grabbing me. I don't understand. It's not, I'm in a mine. Like there's not, it's almost like they thought it was Oblivion 2. Because think about it. How many of the games in the Elder Scrolls start with you in an enclosed space?
Yeah, like a cave or...
Cave? Let's go.
Prison.
Cave, prison, boat. Cave, prison, boat. Okay, so Skyrim's the... Skyrim's the prison, right? Oh, no, Skyrim... Skyrim's sort of open.
You're going to be hanged, right?
You're going to be hanged. And then you have the battle in that city. Okay, so Skyrim, admittedly, we can remove Skyrim.
And I think that one is really well loved. Because
the starting for Skyrim,
people talk about it.
Yeah, the starting for Skyrim was great. The starting for Skyrim is actually pretty good, especially when you get the Macho Man dragon mod.
Oh yeah,
and he's like, oh yeah, and he lands on. But yeah, the starting to that one, yeah, true. He's like, good, you finally woke up. I think Skyrim. I gotta give them a shout.
Put that to the side. But yeah, prison, cave.
Dude, cave. So prison, cave, and I believe the arena, this is ancient games, I believe arena started underground as well in a cave. But I could...
You don't like the, coming out of the vault?
Yeah. I think
seeing the world 4, after 200 years.
The nice thing about 4 is you're in your house at the starting. Remember? You're looking in the wind. I think that's why this is going to sound weird, man, but I think it's why I liked 4 starting a little bit more than most people did, because you started in the world to see what you lost. You get to see the world prior before you lose the world for the post game. Does that make for the post
gives you a sense
game.
Of what you lost in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then going back to your house and it's just a mess, and you realize like how much everything is falling apart. So that one they nailed.
You see the robot, and then you see, wow, this thing has been here alone for 200 years.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, and dude, that robot was fucking mental. They did a great job in Fallout, the TV show, with the mental robot too. No, why would I kill you? I'm just gonna harvest your organs. And I was like, what the fuck? I knew, you see that character in a game or show, and you're like, something ain't right, man. Something ain't right. You get the guy on the boat in Waterworld, and Kevin Costner's with the kid. He's talking. It's Tig from Sons of Anarchy, and he starts talking to him, and the guy's like stuttering and repeating himself. And I'm like, dude, just go. No water, no food is worth it. Whatever's going on in this guy's boat, you don't want to be a part of it. Yeah, great.
It's funny. we don't really see that type of AI gone wrong too much in media, because now AI is so good that the idea that it would have like a clip maximizing problem kind of thing is just silly, because AI understands context and, voices, it can kind of reason.
AI voices also crack me up when I hear them now. Like the Starship Enterprise, turning on transporter now. And
the
I'm
synthetic
like,
voices.
My home 3 gigabyte or 3 billion parameter model sounds fucking legit compared to that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Reading here. BF Resynced is so intuitive with controls that are easy to commit to muscle memory. Dynamic HUD is my way to go. Stalker Gamma sold HUDless gaming to me. Not every game is designed for it, but it works. It's a better way to play 99% of the time. Alp says, just need more yellow paint and ladders. Yep, true that. Wildman says, one of my favorite details in an open world game was going to a tiny village in AC Odyssey and seeing children's drawings scribbled on a wall around the back and out of the way house. Dude, that right there, that would be a memory forever. Like, because it gives you the sense of like forward and back. Like when you see in Watch Dogs a car crash that's already there, and you're like, something's happened in this world before I get there. It's magical, man. Witcher 3 did a great job. Witcher 3's world building to make you feel like shit happened. Like if you look in Witcher 3, I covered it in the Walk, but in Witcher 3, there's a there's a bridge, and it's over a creek, and it's been quite recently reconfigured, re-put together, remortared. But if you go up the hill to a big wall of stone, you can see where they chiseled the exact same textured stone out to give you the idea that they took it from there to build it here. Small thing, cool. But you're like, that's the way to do it. Like that, where 90% of people won't see that shit. But when you do see it, you're like, and then you start imagining what the stoneworker's job is like. And then if they do a smart job and they have a stoneworker in the city, human brain's really good at capturing these tiny things. Conspiracies show us we're really good at this. So we're like, that stoneworker is for sure the guy who fixed the bridge, and he's
finding the patterns
and he's having a drink.
Stuff.
Dude,
I remember
it's so
a lot
great.
of things in your Walking the Walk. Weirdly enough, that one specifically, you showed like you would come across what's it called, like the trunk of a tree that you use to
chop other wood.
To chop wood.
Yeah.
And you would find that, and then you'd see, oh, someone must live nearby because they're gonna be a lumber person.
Yep. And where you would see houses built, you would see like the transition from rural to urban, really well done in Witcher. Because like, remember in the old days, you'd play a game and there'd be forest, city. We saw this in Just Cause. Just Cause has a couple cities. You're in Just Cause, you're running around the islands, you're shooting people, and then you go to a city, and it's like somebody took a cut and paste and just slammed a building down. So it's just facility. Breakpoint had that problem. Facility. It looks like they've grown up like a mushroom from, some giant's turd.
Yeah.
And that's the building. But you get a game like Witcher, despite other issues it has, I'm not saying it's perfect, but you see a game like Witcher and you start going, dude, or Odyssey did this well. So of most of the Assassin's Creeds, if you look closely, you can see bear scratchings on trees when there's a bear nearby. You can see you can see stuff that tells you ambient life is here. There's something going on in this location. And that's awesome. That's a GTA.
The unsung heroes, the developer that thought like, I'm going to put some bear marks on this tree to give the indication, That's cool, man.
Oregon Fresh says, it's okay. Phil apologized about these bad game starts. Yeah, Phil out there.
It is really impactful. Like some of these starts, I remember, I think Mass Effect was pretty good. Yeah. But then also like the Zelda games, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, the way like you see the floating islands and you jump off all the way down, that's really memorable. Sticks with you.
And I think if they do you know why I liked Mass Effects? It was pretty clunky, but I love that you're looking through the window, you're talking, they're talking behind your back as you choose your background. You're like, I'm a warrior, and they're like, yeah, what about Shepard? He got through this battle. There's that synergy, but the best part about Mass Effect that was never repeated was the speech. It wasn't a great speech. It was sort of disjointed, but you got to choose what you said. You got to choose to lead. That, dude, I told you this, but lie to me a little to sell a lot. It happens in D&D all the time. A good DM will just mention a random thing, and 90% of the entire, if you have 5 people at the table, all 5 will forget it, or maybe 1 will remember. And then 6 weeks later, in real time, 6 weeks, somebody will be like, wait a minute. The guy with the weird cybernetics that looks like a crown. Well, it might not have been. That's what's fucking awesome. I can't tell you how many times I've had people after a D&D game go, that was the best D&D game I've ever played in my life. I can't believe you connected, blah, blah, blah. And of the connections they're talking about, 60% were real, 40% were perceived connections by people remembering snippets, sometimes even incorrectly. But you'll be like, dude, this guy took the time, or his mental imagery took the time to burn that in, so I'm going to use that because he's, and then you can even turn around and be like, oh, you thought it was, but it's not. You know, what it was this. I love that kind of stuff in games. They do such a good job in some games. I can't wait for Witcher 4 because I think those guys, GTA and Witcher 4 devs, Watch Dogs devs, I think did a great job. The environmental storytelling is magical, man. Like, and Crimson Desert did a fantastic job as well. Crimson Desert had less of what we're talking about, but it had a lot going on in places I hadn't seen before that really sold me on that. I mean, I loved riding my horse back to camp in Crimson Desert. Didn't matter that that it was out of the way. I used to see people be like, I can't believe there's not a teleporter. And I'd be like, dude, bitch, they're not going to put a teleporter everywhere there's a fucking plateau with some grass, assuming there might be a base there. Like, sometimes your base, would you want a teleporter in your fucking base anyway? Because guess what, guys? A bad guy could get in the teleporter, and now they're in your base. So to me, it was this hilly mountain, and every time I climbed up to it, while I was doing so, my brain was like, talk to this guy. Okay, I got this much money. I would grab, and you're making those memories. These are things that, like, I love that, like, developers in GDC will talk about this stuff, and it'll be missed by a lot because we're just playing the games. But yeah, I love that. BioShock and BioShock Infinite still have the best starting, in my opinion. Ooh, good point.
Yeah, they're really great. They really stick with you. Both of those.
Yeah, the airplane crash and getting into the thing and going down, and BioShock 1 was pretty. I mean, obviously, BioShock Infinite's legit as well, but I actually think 1 I really liked. Because
talking about underwater, you know, that might be one of the most iconic underwater games.
Yeah. You can watch the camp objects be built in real time in Crimson Desert. Yeah, it's a blast. You can actually see that stuff. You can also see them repair shit in Crimson Desert. If you destroy something, you'll actually see them come. It doesn't look great, but the fact that they're doing it makes it look great, if that makes sense.
Those moments are really important, like the going back to base. And AC Black Flag might be when you're on the ship, maybe, you know, just the trajectory you take, that time you take. That's something we call lull states in League of Legends, which are like maybe you're going from base back to your lane or whatever. Those times are super important because they help you solidify everything you've seen.
Absolutely.
And then like make your plan of action for the next thing. Gives you a little moment of reflection to kind of take it all in. And some games don't have that. You might look at some other games that it's just, you know, it's always going. It's just action. And you never have that lull state to...
Yeah, it's just like REM.
Put it down.
It's almost like daydreaming, but getting the REM sleep advantage.
It's like your shower time or whatever.
Dude, shower time's real. Like you'll hear somebody, the best writers in the world will tell you that like some of their best ideas were on the shitter.
Yeah, in the shower.
The longest period of time, there's two things. I just read a study on white and brown and pink noise for rest, sleep, you know, motivation, all this stuff. One of the crazy things about a shower and a bathroom in particular is there were multiple questions on why it worked. There were multiple studies, and they all sort of came to the conclusion that bathrooms are a good place, but they couldn't figure out why, let's say, if you paint a room white and you sit in it facing the wall, it doesn't work. So it has to do, or at least they believe, the studies are indicating it has to do with the combination of the location, how it looks, but also the resonance of a bathtub or a bathroom shower, the resonance of the sound of everything in that room is slightly discordant enough that your brain doesn't track every single thing anymore. It's like, okay, this is sort of like almost like a resonant hum, just like a hum. And so if you have white noise, you can't hear you can't hear a dog's footsteps on the hardwood to wake you up, you know, that kind of stuff. And that it does seem to work because I've tried to mimic the bathroom effect in multiple rooms in my house. I've been like, I'm going to have this room be sort of empty. This will be my thought room. Never worked. And I'd be like, but white noise anywhere does work a little bit for me. A little bit of ambient music kind of stuff.
There is something about it.
Oh, dude, it's awesome, man. Anyway, we went completely off. It's us. We went completely off topic. Whatever. What do we have Discord? That was like 2 hours ago, but do we have any questions in Discord?
Yeah. Let's see
What's
here.
up,
This one
Rogerio?
from
Sorry.
our Cleve. With the okay, another Fallout question. With the announcement of Fallout 3 and New Vegas remake, do you think there's any chance that they release them at the same time? Either a bundle or something akin to the Tale of Two Wastelands mod with both games on the same launcher. I'm assuming they will spread out launches to bridge the gap between now and the two new Fallout games mentioned in their post, but a man can dream.
That's a good question, man, because I thought that too. Right when they mentioned, I would assume it's going to be like 1 year. I think it'd be pretty smart to like do winter, August,
Yeah,
whatever.
space it out.
If they wanted to do them both at the same time, that's also amazing. But I think with mods and depending on the reception, it helps the economy of gaming too to be excited for something. And if you release the good one first, whichever one has the best tech, whichever one feels like the fullest game, you know, you're ahead on one, whatever, you release that, and then you release the other one later. I think it just allows for people to say, man, I had such a blast last year. I can't wait. And it also, I think if you release them both at the same time, it's like binging a TV show. It could work, but it could also really hamper the multi-buys or the continued talk and experience. It hampers modders wanting to be involved in, let's say they want to cut their teeth on Fallout 3, and then when Fallout New Vegas comes out, they want to put a mod that merges the two, which we've seen currently exists in the normal mods for those games. I think it'll be separate.
I agree.
Effort says
you get a bigger.
Yeah, go for it. Sorry, I apologize. What were you saying?
You get a bigger boom out of two releases than just one. In a way, they kind of share. It's like having your birthday right next to Christmas.
Yeah, it is. Trust me.
Dude, I was going to say, isn't your birthday pretty close
after
to
Christmas? It fucking sucks. It sucks, especially when some parent decides to get a present that's huge and put one half in Christmas.
Oh.
And it's not done until you get the second half on your birthday. And you're like, dude, seriously? Number one, you ruined birthday because now I know what I'm getting. Number two, why am I sitting here on Christmas with nothing to do? You took the RC car in half. You gave me the fucking car and not the battery or whatever. You know, something like that would happen. Yeah, Christmas birthdays, my parents were nice enough to be like June or July. They did a half birthday for a couple years because no one showed up to my Christmas birthdays because they had already come for Christmas. So like family members would fly in from 1,000 miles away, but they're not going to stay an extra 3 days to celebrate some fucking porky little kid's fucking acne-ridden birthday. They're going to be like, dude, what? Here's your shit now. You know? Yeah. Billy Joel was saying on Rick Beto that his favorite place to write lyrics is driving in the car. Yeah, absolutely. Car driving is. If you ever come here, that's what we'll do. I'll like splice together a good long drive. We'll get 50-50 on music. Like you get to choose 50, I get to choose 50% of the music and 50%, and then we'll just go on a drive. It's so weird too because it might be the only place where two grown men, other than Boston Legal, can sit together and not say much. Because like it's Boston Legal's. I firmly was telling Takedown a couple days ago. I think Boston Legal's success is not the banter that's consistent. It's the fact that they are both quite comfortable at the end of the show with one of them saying or asking a question and silence as they either think about it or that's what was said. And it's like you said, with moments of respite, there's something about that moment where it resonates the question, and driving's that way for sure. Yeah, we got to do it, man. It'd be a blast. What else do we got for questions?
Let's see. That was the last question.
Okay.
I think we got to everything. Yeah, go for it.
Let's see. I actually got a bunch, so I'm going to curb some of these. If Fallout 5 and Elder Scrolls Blank share the newest creation engine, does actually shorten development time or force both games to inherit architectural limitations? I think it does both. I would say, depending on how big the company is and how many people they got working on it, you might have people working on one and then switching to the other. No matter what, I think if one gets done, instead of like losing your development staff, you probably take them and put it on the game that isn't out yet. But at the same time, yeah, all the architectural limitations will be there. I will say one bonus though: both groups are working on fixing architectural limitations as well as coming up with cool tricks. So if they talk, it would be quite possible if somebody figured something cool out in Fallout, they would be like, hey, we figured some cool technical thing out that we were able to do. And then Todd probably would be the one passing it down because I believe they're siloed. If I remember right, their leads don't like tell each other everything they're doing. I could be wrong on that. But Todd would at least be able to say, hey, there's this cool idea, and maybe we'll integrate it somewhere else. Mara from Minneapolis. When a studio loses veteran engine programmers, what knowledge disappears that cannot be recovered by reading the source code and or documentation? When you lost a developer, so like, let's say you're working, you probably wouldn't fire somebody who has the only bit of knowledge about something, but has it ever happened to you, Johnny?
Sometimes you lose them to attrition, or the company decides to fire them, even though, it's bad for your team. That happens.
Yeah.
In fact, recently it's happened.
Oh, no shit.
We had some recent layoffs, and it was really bad for those teams. They're going to be in a tough spot, but the decision was kind of made at the exact level.
Okay.
So I think usually the biggest problem is very often those people have deep knowledge of how things were built originally from the ground up. And it might be legacy stuff that newer people have no idea how it works. Like if they had to make a change to that legacy code base, it would be impossible because they would have to learn so much to even be able to touch it. Now with AI is a bit easier.
Right.
But yeah, that type of stuff, losing legacy, losing the ability to like see everything, kind of the big picture, because very often those people over time develop a really like cohesive view of the whole thing, start to finish kind of thing. And then everybody else has like a picture of what matters to them in a way, and they are kind of more narrow. So I think those are the big things usually.
I would agree, and weirdly enough, this is replicated in martial arts of all things. So if you have, if you have a really good student, that student makes your day fucking fly by. A really good student has a graph knowledge of little things to where they can even stop somebody from asking the sensei a question, a billing question about the gym or where's the equipment or just the craziest stuff. That is even more important sometimes than like, how do you do this particular move or this particular kata or whatever. So when you lose somebody like that, you may not notice it in one day, but what you will notice is 2 weeks later, you're going gray and you're losing hair. And you're like, what the fuck's going on right now? And then you realize, Bill left and he was sidelining 20% of these questions. And if you're a good manager, you think questions through. And what the problem with that is, if somebody asks you a question and you answer in 3 seconds, there's a high chance that at least 3 to 6 minutes are wasted on that question. This is something that you can check out in cerebral science, where they will explain that if somebody asks somebody a question that's in any way technical, the human brain doesn't just go blah, 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 and move on. Even if you don't know you're thinking about it, you quite literally will go, is that still right? How do I know it's right? Do I need to check on the guy because he asked me that question? Why did he ask me that question? Did he ask me that question? Does somebody else have that question? Should I now put that question in a blog for this morning? Should I make sure that people know that question? Should we just revisit that? Is that connected with something else? Where is it? So that person there is so mighty. That's why a team matters. A team, even the worst person on not to be rude, but even the worst person on a team can take a ton of extra stress off everybody else if they have a little bit of knowledge about something and are good at sharing it. That's why I would rather train somebody who was not super smart than have a super smart person who doesn't get along with the team. Because you're just like, sorry, but that person, when we interviewed, it may have sounded technical, but a lot of times it was like, is this person going to be able to truly gel and be able to like be a organism in there that can pop in and out and help and like not stymie things, no matter how knowledgeable they are. And we've all had times where we become the stymie. I'm sure I did. I'm sure there were times where I wasn't having a good day or whatever. But I think it's vital. That's a good question, by the way. Who is that, Mara? Frame Pacer, how much of Starfield's loading screen problem is the engine, and how much is Bethesda dividing the world into separate cells because persistent object simulation becomes too expensive? Those are combined. They are identical things if you consider the loading screens a problem. If you consider them a problem, not a thing, but a true problem, both of those things are identical. They are the persistent.
So that is the reason.
That is the
right?
reason. Yeah.
They can't keep just everything going at the same time.
Especially with mobile CPU, APUs, with the RAM that we have, and how much can you keep in a persistent state? Yeah, it's a good question, but it's just the way their engine works. And I got to tell you, some of the stuff their engine can do, Unreal would have more difficult of a time. I think with the Oblivion
trade-offs.
remake, we saw they did a pretty good job. But there were trade-offs still with there's trade-offs with everything.
Does it bother you, the loading screen in those games like Starfield, stuff like that?
Yeah, but it bothers me because I feel like if you and I were, listen, we're not developers. We're not working on the game. Somebody will always get mad about this. But if you and I were sitting there and they said we have a loading screen, I would probably cheat. I wouldn't lie like Ubisoft did. I like Ubisoft, but they lied. They're like, look at our look. We don't have loading screens in Star Wars. Bullshit. That's a loading screen. When that ship lands on the planet, bullshit. We know what that's doing. It's a streaming loading screen without a static screen. I wish there was a way that they had the ability to map whatever they need saved and unloaded and removed in a dynamic way.
More dynamic.
Starfield. Yeah. If you want to force me to land the ship, a la Outlaws, that's fine for your game, but make it so that it's simulating a ship landing. Have people talking. Have people going like, we're in the pipe, 5 by 5. Have somebody else say, shields are a go, so that it feels like things are happening.
It's
Don't
a
just
transition, right?
It's a transition.
So you're going...
Yeah. Don't just have
I agree.
This screen... Dude, even the screen with the hot tip. You know how the hot tips, and then if you have a good SSD, the hot tip's so fast you can't even fucking read it.
You can't read them.
But imagine this. Imagine you're landing that spaceship. We're talking about spaceship ones right now, not the elevators, which I don't like that they have loading at all. Let's say you're landing that spaceship. Dude, this is how far I would go. You get a new NPC. Sorry, you get a new character, one of the Gennaro characters or new character, and they say something different when you're landing. Make it so that it ties in. So Sarah's on the ship now. She wasn't before. And Sarah's like, man, it's been a while since I did this. I'm a little nervous. Boom. You just sold somebody on the idea that something else is going on. I'm not saying everybody who watched Digital Foundry would be sold on that. That's not what it's about, though. It's about being less friction. And do you know what the worst friction is? A stop. And that's what a loading screen, it's like, I mean, it's right up against your face. It's just like, dude, and, loading.
It kind of forces you to, like, every time one of those pop up, I'm kind of like looking to my side. It's a moment for me to get distracted. I might pick up the phone to see like, oh, did someone message me?
Absolutely.
Whatever, blah, blah, blah. It just kind of opens your attention for other stuff naturally.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of having some kind of narrative thing that's tied to the break, like you said, landing your ship, or like moving something on the screen, like maybe the door is big and there's an animation for you to open it.
Animations are a good step in the right direction. We've seen it with the vagina crawl, as I call it, in every Uncharted game, where you crawl through the vag. That's just a loading screen.
I haven't yet recovered from your vagina pathways.
It's mother vagina you're crawling through every time. It's like, that's what. And by the way, it also sets up the movie moment, right, Johnny? Crawling through that vagina into the birth of the world. And what do you see in most games? This big epic, because it tightens your focus. By the way, this is what happens when a lot of developers will start with a close-up on a person's face and zoom out till you see where they are. That's the exact same thing going on in games. So we don't want that going away. if we have the ability to get rid of screens, I don't want the cinema of this amazing moment going away, right? That I'm okay with squeezing my head out, Earth's vagina. I just want to see this. I like the hero moment, man. That moment where you come out and you're like, oh damn, this is a spaceport and there are people walking around and it was frictionless getting there, and it's not with Starfield. So
yeah,
it's too bad.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one. So other ideas people just dropped. This is a good one. They could remark on the weather of the day or the planet. If you're landing, there's dynamic weather. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? If you're landing and Sarah's like, oh, man, it's super rainy outside. Get those galoshes as a joke. Just that kind of stuff is what makes it feel like an experience, man. And by the way, other games fail this too. It's not like they're the only ones who fail the intermediary.
Did they do that in Black Flag? Because the dynamic weather is fantastic in that, but I don't know if they ever talk up or react to the weather.
This is the first time it's been truly dynamic. The new engine allowed that. So they had loading screens in all the space. Yeah. When you went into a ship battle, you had loading stuff for some of the major ones. So that's all gone, which was a big help. But yeah, I would love that. And by the way, Black Flag, man, there's some moist-ass motherfuckers in that game. You definitely all got rashes. You got some jungle rock because it's raining 99% of the time you're playing that game.
And it would be cool because, I mean, sometimes you have a full-on twister situation, and it would be cool if the crew reacted to that. Like, holy shit, like maybe it's the first time one of them saw it and they're like, just reacting to that kind of stuff would be...
Yeah,
the next layer.
And there, especially if you do variations, you'd only need like 10 or 12 variations. Then you match them to a couple characters.
Your famous phrase of lying to you a little to tell a lot kind of thing, where gives you the impression of real depth.
And by the way, I'm sure we're not the only one. It comes down to the time where they're like, we can't fit another audio stream in, or something like that, where they're like,
because it's busy, man.
Because it's busy.
Like they're singing shanties, they're screaming. There's a boat there, Captain.
The best example of how busy a single frame of graphics is the Spider-Man 1 developer GDC. It's one of the best GDCs of all time, and they show you a cutscene and what's happening when you're watching the cutscene and what they're doing, and they're culling everything. They're basically looking at everything in the world, going, "What can we get rid of that can give us more memory for this battle with Fisk?" When you're going inside of the building, this is at the starting, and they show an entire frame. So you're just one frame. They show you by the millisecond these bars of dropping textures, cutting out every character, removing all audio that's buffered in.
Oh, wow.
And it's just this fucking awesome thing to where you're like, damn.
It's just been cut down into...
Yeah. And where one move will happen, they'll be like, we can't do it, so we're going to reverse, we're going to make sure that the last audio snippet in the city can be played. We're going to do a cutoff, so 0.1 milliseconds prior to us doing this cutscene, those audio effects go away, so we can remove them before we get to the point to where we need to start culling for this cutscene and stuff like that. It's just amazing shit, man. In AC Shadows, people run to get out of the rain and comment on the weather. Yeah, they even get parasols, which umbrellas. But yep,
that's cool. Yeah.
Final Fantasy's famous for that. That's a joke, right? Another weather combo. Yeah. If we just decided that we weren't going to repeat anything that was ever done, we wouldn't see any other games. That's not how games work. Sometimes you got to put in a bunch of stuff.
It's been done once.
It's been done.
We're done.
It's been done. It's like whenever you say, "Well, they made a good game prior. Why isn't this one good?" It's like, made one good game, If that were true,
Diablo
the same
2
jackasses would be winning the NBA every year.
Stop making those games. Yeah,
it's been done. You've done it. Move on. Next up, Ronnie says, if Fallout 3 and New Vegas are being remastered, what would genuinely require engine-level reconstruction instead of high-resolution textures? If it's being remastered, audio, nothing. I mean, remaster, you can do anything. Ubisoft has released remasters that I believe were just higher resolution. So
Sure. Yeah.
Remasters don't require, you can choose, basically. A remake requires a lot. Black Flag supposedly has 0 code from the original game, but can I point out that seems weird because we have some of the same bugs. So, if true,
Yeah.
when your boat sinks into the ocean in the original and supposedly does in this sometimes, and it's not the same code, it would have been nice if somebody had looked at that and gone, yeah, we need to make sure that doesn't happen, because, yeah, that was weird.
That's really funny. It's like Xbox saying they created the store from scratch, and then it turned out to be like pretty much the same thing.
Bro, remember that shit? Oh, man. We completely rebuilt blankety blank from the top down. Yeah, and it was
it's
the
like,
same.
Okay, I have the same bug where I can't search a game.
This is good. Delisted again says, is an executable game actually preserved? Is a game preserved if the disk contains only an incomplete build that requires a day one patch to function?
Yeah,
No.
good question.
No.
Technically, no.
No. That would
No.
be the way of saying, is a book archived if the preview is available online somewhere of the first chapter?
Yeah, it's
No,
maybe
it's-
placebo. Maybe it makes you feel good that you have something, but
A true preservation
Not
would be
practical.
an image of the full thing in the Internet Archive or wherever.
playable in that state.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the ISO, whatever's out there, would be an ISO that if you mounted it into Windows and there was no DRM for it, it just plays, right? It's just like, yeah. But it's a good question, though, but I think it's fundamental to all the problems people are having right now when you do have a back and forth about preservation, because I think some people consider preservation what you said, or don't know that because maybe they're only doing physical and they're not remembering that it is downloading. I mean, some people I know will put in a game, it'll say installing, but it's also downloading, and they're not really putting 2 and 2 together. They're thinking more along the lines of disk-based, and you're like, bro,
Yeah.
it's just a launcher executable on there, This is like 56K or something, where it's like, connect online.
That's not the game.
It's not the game. Audio Hermit says, with layoffs removing specialists across development teams, which tends to deteriorate first in the finished game? Performance, encounter variety, animation, or audio implementation, or bug testing? So with layoffs removing specialists across all the development teams, which tends to deteriorate first? I feel like I want to say QA, because QA deteriorates already. Remember, CD Projekt Red tried to blame QA on their game being shit. So, like, I feel like QA is thrown. Is QA thrown under the bus where you work?
No, because we don't have a QA in that sense of a dedicated QA team.
Okay.
Instead, every team has to do QA.
Okay, let me ask you another question then.
Yeah, go on.
Do the budgets and finance, though, treat QA like a second-class citizen when you're budgeting time for QA?
So the way that it would pan out is that, imagine you're one of X teams in my company. It would be expected of you that you're doing QA, or that might be something similar to QA. Maybe not in the same sense, but you have some QA processes, and that they are going to be good enough for release. Now, what happens is the time you're allowed to spend on that might go down based on the resources you have, talking about people. So if you've had layoffs and you now have 2 less engineers,
right,
then naturally the time you're going to be allowed to spend on stuff like QA is going to be lower, because at the end of the day, you still need to spend the same time developing the thing. But then what ends up suffering first are the things that are more optional, even though they're technically not optional. Right? That kind of makes sense. So I think if you have the same number of people and you have to try to do the same job, ultimately you will see like what's considered the polish suffer first, because those are processes after creating the main product, and that's usually non-negotiable.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. That makes sense.
But every situation is different, right? I mean,
QA. This is the 5003. By the way, I want to say thanks to everybody for sitting by and talking about. I know we usually talk about more randoms. We did get random, but we're doing a lot of Fallout. I appreciate people just sitting by on this. QA does not exist anywhere where I work. Every dev is responsible for it now. They tried to get the QA people to code and write scripts. Didn't work out well. Yeah. Ultimately, I think QA used to be a thing because all the testing and the systems were different back in the day. And now the person who is the dev can QA on their own. So if you get a dev who can QA, who's good and likes it, because I do think it sort of can be a sucky job or whatever. Plus, you have all of these systems and software now to go through and say there's an issue here, linting. There's all kinds of shit you can do where you can look into stuff. And as somebody building my own software right now, I can tell you it's better to do it early anyway. When in the old days it was done later, now I feel like might as well do it right when you're working, because if you don't and you have some disaster, what was the game with the arrow that was 10 million polygons and no one realized it? It was the game by John Romero, like the debacle of the 10 million polygon arrow, Daikatana, where people who knew the tech specs were not involved in the art of that particular item, and the FPS dropped to 0, and they couldn't figure out why. And it's because the artist had made the world's greatest arrow. He was like, "Wow, dude, this arrow model, I'm fucking proud of this bitch. I'm putting that on my res, or what? I don't know what you guys call it. It's not resume. It's called something else where you guys are.
CV.
CV. What's CV stand for?
Curriculum vitae.
Oh,
some Latin
of
thing.
Course, gotcha. Some
it's
Latin
like
thing.
Life something.
Yeah. So it does happen. We still had QA when I left, but they were small and they QA'd everybody's products. And they also just tested as a user, meaning there was no simulated. By the way, I'm sorry, at least for my stuff and at least for what I'm still seeing, simulated user testing ain't the same as a real person clicking some fucking buttons.
No, definitely not.
Bullshit is that. Dude, I can't tell you, Johnny, how many times I'll be like, this is supposedly working perfect. Go in the browser, because it's a fucking browser, which is its own program in and of itself. Nothing works. And you're like, it was working 5 minutes ago. No, it wasn't. It was never working, man.
Yeah, no.
Got to get some real fingers.
I think also with games, I don't know. I'm not a game dev, so I don't know precisely how teams are set up. But I think usually you have a dedicated QA team that their job is to find the bugs, but not necessarily to fix them. So they will in some way report them back to the dev team and say, hey, listen, bush guy Joe, the bush is not working.
Yeah.
Right? Get on that. And this is now a ticket for Joe. And he has to go and fix the bush.
Yeah.
And then if you have a smaller team now, then even if your QA team is reporting all these issues, you can actually only address a fraction of them instead of all of them.
Yep.
Kind of thing.
Games still use contractors, at least the guys I'm talking to right now, who there's a developer Slack I'm in.
They come in, right? They do a big wave.
You literally, and I got to do it for Watch Dogs 1. I got to QA well before it came out. It was a company that I was just like, oh, this would be fun to work for them. And it wasn't even Ubisoft. It was a third party. And they were basically like, but do you know what the QA is? Some crazy ass shit. Ram into this wall 600 times with a car to see what happens. You would get those too. It wasn't just go have fun and play a game. It was like repetitively do the same goddamn thing 600 times and see what happens, which ain't fun for anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, now with software testing and stuff, you can get some of that shit out of the way. Good question, by the way. That was a good question. Very good. Last up. When a studio like Compulsion becomes independent again, which expensive technical department do you guys think are hardest to rebuild outside of being owned by a platform holder? Oh, damn. Yeah, so I don't know if you heard about this, but Compulsion, everybody thought was completely probably done. They're South of Midnight guys. Contrast, maybe, did they do? I could be wrong on that. But they did that in a couple other games, and now they're independent, and they'll be going out. And this person's wondering, like, rebuilding all of that, is there a particular technical part that is the hardest out of that? So engines probably not, unless you're using your own, which I don't know how Microsoft would handle that. Tools, QA, online infrastructure. The hardest rebuild. So platform holders have their own certification groups. So QA, because you can push those off. I think Microsoft still has their testing facility. QA maybe. I feel like it's everything. I feel like it's everything. I feel like I feel like such a cheapskate. But I feel like if you and I were working at a company, we were both fired and we decided, and they gave us our IP or something, that you would be at spot zero, not spot zero, but you would be at spot like 40%, and you needed to build 60%, that none of that would be cheap. Engine, tools, QA, online infrastructure, if your game was online. I feel like it's just all. There's some overlap there too. Morrow says, "Hey, Carrick, in the side podcast, by the way, if you don't listen to those come out on Tuesdays, where I talk about random shit, just like we do here, except it's usually just me. You asked everybody what dogs they have. Just chiming in with mine. A Canaan dog, a rare dog breed, which is the world's only tame or semi
wild.
I think he's saying semi-wild desert. I think he means desert breed. Let me look this up. Canaan.
That's funny. We have some funny typos there because he said bred instead of breed.
Dude, yeah.
That's great.
Okay, I see what you're talking about. Canaan, one of the AKC's oldest breeds. The Canaan dog is the national dog of Israel. Very cool. I didn't know there was a national dog of anything. That's a poised ass dog, man. That is a wicked looking dog. So weirdly enough, if you take the Wikipedias and you turn those dogs black, like super shiny black, that is almost identical to what Sai looks like. One of my dogs. That is except that tail is curly. That tail is that's like a bent erection, man. That is a raw tail. My dog's tail is, my dog's tail is not like that, but very cool. Found in Syria 9,000 years ago. Did you and I talk about this, where now they're saying that, so originally it was like, okay, humans domesticated dogs, but the more we look at it, there's more of an indication that the way humans tribe up and our social structures are that it could have been very close to completely equal, where because we hear stories about dogs adopting babies or children in the woods. There are true stories occasionally of a child getting lost and a wolf or maybe even somebody's dog that's got escaped will take it in for a small amount of time before rescuers find it. So now there's this opinion that it could have been equal, where we have taken a bunch of the way they do things into humanity, and then humanity's also trained them in the way they act. And I would say that seems right. Like the way we do some of our alpha packs, you always hear about that, the way humans work. What if it's possible that humans wouldn't even be here, not because of the dinosaurs dying, which is one step, but another step is a complete symmetry with one other animal? Because think about how dynamic you are now with a hunting dog. You are quite literally, that's a force magnifier, man. That's an M60. To go from Johnny, naked as a jaybird, dick swinging out in the wind, running around, getting chased by elephants, to having you and a dog. And now the dog can alert. The dog can find food. You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy to think that if we go out, we always have this assumption that we'd be like humans took over everything. And it's without dogs, there's a very high chance we'd still be living in tribes and stuff like that, which is a cool thought process when you think about it.
It is very cool. I've always thought that cats, they had this evil plot to turn us into their caretakers, so that actually they selected us in a way into, or like somehow like played us to become. And as I say that, my cat jumps into my lap.
I mean, dude, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Cats have figured it out. Except you get a lot of feral cats too. You know, you get a lot out that won't come in.
True.
We've definitely had our fair share. In fact, we've had more
you know how
cats.
Like cats have, like, for example, my cat has like the white socks, right? You can see there, like that. There's no way that evolved by coincidence. Like it evolved because it's cute.
It's cute,
and people want that. They seek that in cats, right? So they have completely adapted to kind of fit what we want, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely look at tribes that used to hunt with dogs versus tribes that didn't, or didn't have dogs of the same type of, and they have, like massively different physiologies in the way that they go about things, even like attunement to like what you have to do to take care of yourself if you don't have a dog, just to alert, better hearing. What you do you use other animals for that? Which, you would have some Native American tribes that, knew all the animals around them. They'd be like, okay, this animal's not making sound. That means something's nearby, what have you. It's pretty cool when you think about it. But yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. And then when it comes to like animals and stuff like that, dude, look how many dogs there are that would never exist. I mean, the pug is the best example of humans being shit faces to the highest degree.
Yeah.
That animal should not exist. It is not healthy in the way we've done it. I love them. I know people love them.
Fit.
I don't own one. I just mean
for survival.
I love dogs. Yeah, it's not fit for survival, and we fucked it up. It is a dog with so many issues because of
because we like
breeding.
The tiny legs, the stocky legs.
The nose is the big problem. That's why they have so many breathing issues, man. Yeah. I always get the feeling, by the way, they watch us. I always get the feeling, by the way, they watch us, that rabbits are plotting our downfall. I always get the feeling, by the way, they watch us. Okay. You're not talking about dogs now. You're talking about rabbits.
Oh.
They watch us. That rabbits are plotting our downfall. We've only had one.
I don't see a lot of rabbits. Do you guys have a lot of those?
We do. We have bunnies. I call them bunnies because, like, rabbit to me is an adult, and I swear to God, I don't see any adult in the woods. I almost always see, like, I guess you would say youthful rabbits, probably because of attrition. But we have some bunnies. They're pretty dirty. I mean, in all honesty, like, maybe as a hunter or whatever, like, there's some animals, like, let's say if one was hurt, I would not be picking that up. Ticks and stuff like that. But they are cute. My family members, my wife's family has had pet rabbits before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah,
well,
they can be dickheads,
actually, I did know. I just haven't seen it.
Anybody who tries to tell you that rabbits are all cuddly and shit, fucking, that person's a liar. Rabbits have...
Did they get big?
They can get huge. The big
bunny or
motherfucker. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
They can get massive, and they can bite like a son of a bitch. They can get really, really, I guess you would just say, I don't know if you want to say sexually aggressive. I don't mean mounting behavior like a dog, but I mean during certain times, they're very difficult.
Sure.
It seems like there's something there where they just get more moody at certain times. And I've got a couple bites. That's about it. They're cuddly, and you can get some that are, dude. I've had friends who have rabbits that are basically like plushy animals, I guess, but they're alive, so they're great, super communal, but they are dirty. They will go to the bathroom anywhere. I'm sure somebody's probably trained them. I guess maybe some animals cannot be potty trained, meaning they won't litter. Nothing works. I don't think rabbits are like that, but I could be wrong. But I wouldn't want to own one. Yeah, I'd rather have a ferret or something if I was going to get a creature in that style than like a gerbil or a chipmunk. It's weird somebody brought chipmunks up and squirrels because, dude, I like the way they look, man, but they're bastards. Like a baby squirrel's one of the cutest goddamn things you'll ever see, though. We found a baby squirrel on a mountainside, ended up saving it, took it to the vet. It lived, it was adopted, and lived with the people until it died. We saved it. But it was just this little tiny baby fucking squirrel. So cute as shit, man. Like, cute-ass animal. But they even told me it was a bit of a dick. Rabbits love lettuce and the tears of the week. Well, they shouldn't eat lettuce right now because everybody's getting the shits from the lettuce in America. As long as don't eat Taco Bell. Was it Taco Bell that I think they found out had the bad lettuce? One of my friends always jokes about how our dog probably referred to us as the two-legged mofos. Yeah, probably. Dude, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. They're probably
I love that. I love the idea that to them, to dogs and cats, we are just a big weird dog or cat.
They probably think a couple things. Why are they making so much sound when there's no enemy nearby?
Yeah.
Right? They're like, dude, you are quite literally wasting calories. What are you doing? Number two, why can't you rest? Because dogs are so good at just like, they plop down, then they're energetic. Then they plop down. They'll sleep for 5 hours, then they're up. Then they're down, then they're up. They got it. They got to. And then I bet you they think we have a shitty life because we're not as excited about like balls as they are. I would say the only time is if they watched a football game and they're like, these guys got it. These guys know how fun a fucking ball is. Because
now they get it.
Dogs, and if you get a dog who loves to have the ball thrown, it's one of the most fun things that you can have. Because that dog is...
You know the problem? The big difference between cats and dogs is that cats don't bring the ball back.
Nah, yeah.
You'll toss that thing. They'll go.
Two of our
and
dogs
then
don't
like...
either.
Oh, really?
It sucks balls, which is not a pun. It sucks. When you have a dog that doesn't return the ball, you're really just throwing them farther away from you continually. So we have like 30 balls in a big, like a big jar, or a big bucket.
Yeah.
And Sai will leap up and grab it or chase it. But the moment he gets it, it's done. It's gone. It doesn't even exist in his, you'll say, go get the ball. He doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about. So he loves the moment it's moving, and then the moment he touches it with his nose or even a foot, it's gone, and you have to go pick it up yourself. Yeah. And now you're like, dude, what am I doing? I'm quite literally picking up the yard for the dog, because now he's not even returning it. Like he's not even meeting you halfway. He's like, work for me, bitch.
Come on, bro.
The dog's just
you have
like,
one job,
bitch.
Pick up the ball.
Throw me that ball. My dog selectively brings the dog back, the ball back. Yeah. One of the best was we were training we had 3 dogs, and one was a puppy, and the Great Dane chased balls and returned them 70% of the time. And I threw the ball.
Decent.
It's good. Yeah, it's decent. It's decent.
Yeah.
I threw the ball, which was not a tennis ball. It was a nice black, rubbery ball that dogs could really chew hard. And I see him running back with something, and I'm like, that ain't a ball. And I realized he picked up the puppy, returning him to me. The ball had passed the puppy, and the Great Dane got confused, and instead of grabbing the ball, the Great Dane picked up the puppy and dragged the puppy back. And the puppy he did it the way you're supposed to, scuff with it. But I was just like, what the fuck is he bringing back to me? And I'm like, dude, you're bringing back a Lao. That's an entire dog you're bringing back. So he retrieved the dog. That's something if you could figure out how to train dogs to do that, that'd be pretty useful. Have one dog go out and pick up the other dogs if you have like a lot of them in your backyard, and they won't corral well. The awesome thing about chinchillas is they run around fast, then stop, then run around fast, then hop maniacally a bit, then stop. Can't get them wet though. That's a lot. That's just a lot of.
Yeah, I don't know how to take in
awesome.
any of it. Yeah.
Ferrets were fun. Ferrets were a great time. Oh, by the way, some new news hit for games. I don't want to hit these, so listen to this. It's actually pretty big news. First up. Unfortunately, ZA/UM, they are the ones who were the Disco Elysium half of them kind of dev thing, laid off 32 employees after 0 parades fails to reach commercial success. This is what's sad.
Damn.
0 parades got insanely good reviews, did it not? I feel like 0 parades got really good reviews. Okay. So, unfortunately...
Double check.
They had to lay off 32 employees, and by the looks of that company, 32 has got to be well over 50%. I feel like
that got 86% critics recommend.
That ain't bad,
on OpenCritic.
86 is 1 point higher than Black Flag. Then announcement just happened less than a couple hours ago. I'll read this. From the Bungie producers, Ziegler says, this is the one of the lead producers of Bungie. Hi, everyone. Got a bit of an announcement today. Today, Friday, 7/17, will be my last day at Bungie. I'll be passing the torch of game director to the very capable and amazing hands of Del Schaff III, who will guide the game forward alongside the creative director, Julia Narden. Both of them have been operating in a strong leadership capacity for the team and are ready to guide Marathon into the next chapter. I'm proud of them. I'm excited to see them helm the future. I'll be heading to something new somewhere else, and we'll update you on where and when. I just want to say deeply heartfelt thank you. Hopefully, as I move on to new things, you'll join me for these adventures as well. Much love to the Marathon community. So he was the somewhat maligned director of Marathon, and he has quit. With no indication of where he's going, at least yet. Also,
dropping it like a hot potato.
Like a hot potato. At least he didn't do the thing where he's like, well, no, I'm not even going to say that. Yeah, because he sort of did. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced sells more than 3 million copies in a single week. That just got popped,
wow.
4 hours ago.
I'm very happy. It's doing well. Deserves it.
Dude, that's insane. That's really, it's really good sales. Okay, now here's a question. And I'm going to let this dog out, but I'm going to ask you, see if you can give me a little, I'll be listening. It's just going to take me a second. Okay, 2 things. Let's decide which to talk about. GameStop CEO stated games are irrelevant to GameStop because of
I saw that.
Pokemon or cards and merchandise as sort of replaced games. The other is EA has stated all console game makers should consider in-game ads more during development.
Yeah.
So which one do you want to talk about?
I think the first one is interesting because
I'll be right back. I'm just going to let these out. I'm listening.
To me, it doesn't pass the sniff test. I always get that one wrong. Sniff check. The sniff. Yeah, you guys know what I'm saying. I don't think it passes any scrutiny because when you think about like people standing in line for a physical game that they pre-ordered and that kind of thing, no one's doing that for a pack of cards. I don't know. I could be way off. I'm not a card collector and that kind of thing, but I think people still the drive for a new game that they pre-ordered and they're waiting for weeks and then they go there. I think that has to be still a big part of the draw. Well, why people would go to a store like that. But I think there is something to it that it's branched off a lot, right? And if the only thing that these shops sold were games, they probably wouldn't be around anymore. If you think about it, it would all just be Amazon selling the physical games. So I kind of get what they're saying, but I think it's also a bit of like an exaggeration and like a knee reaction to that. Just saying like, no, we're fine, just to kind of appease
maybe the
stakeholders and stuff like that.
I do want to correct. I know that there's been a huge problem with the new Magic the Gathering stuff. They're taking in like Final Fantasy and Star Trek next week, and that's pissed off a lot of people who play. But I don't know about the lineups, but I mean, you look at some stores where if they sell them, they have to control people's purchases of packs, stuff like that. So there's definitely probably some people lining up. I mean, it's probably more than games, just the way games have digital now, but I don't know. But I just want to correct that because I heard you saying it. And it may be different in America versus London versus Russia versus Australia. Different places might have different lineups. But I agree with you.
Sure.
Games are the thing that GameStop's known for. But I feel like, weirdly enough, physical just hasn't worked out for them new. They don't make any money. Or they make very little. So they sell you these GameStop, premium stuff, all this shit. And then the used market is what I always saw them making cash on. But maybe the used market has been replaced by eBay and personal. And then also the fact that there's less physical games, that some companies are going digital. But oddly enough, regardless of what he says, it's a bad time to say that, right? Because we just had PlayStation. We just had... we know Microsoft, PlayStation, Nintendo's got physical games, but we know they're talking more about digital. So now we're staring down the barrel of platform holders saying we're going one way, and the GameStop, the place you and I know of, is the major place to buy games for life, forever. It's where we remember all the lineups, remember all the people getting together to talk about a Halo. They're stating it's irrelevant to their company. So it's like, oh damn. It's just sort of the perfect storm of crap that's happened for that part of the industry.
Yeah, that's fair. And Kel is saying in chat, people do line up for Pokemon
That's
cards.
what I thought. Maybe Pokemon.
Yeah. So that's fair enough. But I think to say it's irrelevant is just crazy. I think it is just something to appease that you would say.
Yeah. And irrelevant, really, to me, like, that's a pretty harsh, like, that word means not even on a fiscal sheet somewhere, which seems really odd, right? So,
yeah.
But that being said, I mean, there's been such a dramatic downturn in physical that maybe it's true. I don't know. I just thought it was a weird thing to say, but then the moment I read what he said, I was like, oh, the other thing was I was just thinking, what a shit time to say it. Unless he is preparing people or was responding to the idea of these platform holders not doing physical games. And he's like, yeah, I can see why they're not blankety blank. But yeah, interesting discussion. I'll look up more of it because I'm just reading the news. I saw that one this morning, though, and I want to talk about it. The other one was that console game makers should consider in-game ads during development. Listen, we've talked about this. I don't know if there's much. Whoops. Am I back? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I lost your video there.
It's because I hit the wrong button. Give me one moment.
No problem.
Boom. There we go.
Yeah.
I was trying to move you off to the side. I think the one thing about in-game ads, I think we've talked about this before, that like I would rather see a real Pepsi than a fake Pepsi in a game or something like that. And if we're playing a NASCAR game, I want to see the real NASCAR sponsors. But everything's a lesson in how to handle it correctly without it becoming like Wayne's World or something, where can you imagine you're playing a fighting game and he's got on his Pepsi sweats and his fucking Mountain Dew shirt and his beanie that says, Sprite on the side, and he's wearing a pair of Beats headphones as he's bouncing around. You'd be like, he's wearing Adidas that you can for sure tell are those. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's everything, man. Like, everything in life is about how you handle it and at what level. So I'm not too bothered. I want it to fit, man. I want, like, Bond has a certain car. I want to see that in Bond. I don't need to see the fake, Illuminati Vector 7 fake car. If it's going to be an Audi, if it's going to be a BMW, if it's going to be a Lamborghini, I want to call it a Lamborghini. I want to play a racing game with the proper
If
cars.
someone's having a drink, I'm okay if it's a Coke or a Fanta.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Can we? Fanta is what? Have you ever had a Fanta? Because I've never had one.
Bro, of course, man.
Really?
Fanta Orange is one of my favorite drinks.
I like orange, and Fanta is huge to me because of the Transporter movie, because he has a Fanta before he gets in the fight with the cops. That's the only experience I have with Fanta. I wonder if Fanta is mostly European, though. Is it mostly?
It might be.
It might be a European.
Do you guys have another orange drink that's more?
Sprite's got an orange, and then we've got there's one particular
Sprite's
one that
got
is,
it.
Yeah, there's a particular one that is just orange. It's even when you go to a restaurant, if you have the buttons, it's always it's
Schweppes. No.
Oh no, Schweppes is usually like sparkling water or something here. At least now, I'm just saying here is in Pacific Northwest where I am. Can somebody remind me what the orange drink is that everybody?
It's not Mountain Dew, is it?
Mm-mm. There's a
different
Sunkist that is orange, I believe. Oh, by the way, I tried something that is, dude, horrible. I tried a new type of Mountain Dew.
Okay.
It made me almost hate all Mountain Dew because it's so bad. Like, I almost feel like it was a personal attack on me that it tastes so terrible. Let me grab this thing. and read this to you. It's called.
Okay, here we go. Mountain Dew. Chat, Fanta, I don't think is German. Fanta is in Brazil. Fanta is in Spain, in the
I
UK.
think it's just made in. It's called Baja Blast. Listen, dude, it tastes exactly like being in the Baja and get blasted by somebody would take. It was fucking horrible. I tasted it and I was like, it can't be this bad. It is this bad. I passed it to my wife. Now she'll usually do the contrarian thing. If I don't like something, she'll like it. If I like it, she'll usually kibosh it, which is good because we're not sharing the same drinks. She got near that thing and smelled it and was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, no, you got to take a drink. You cannot not take a drink of this pissant stuff. She took a drink. She's like, that might be the worst pop I've ever tasted in all my life. It is horrendous, man. So if you ever have a chance, just drink like old man pee because it is twice as good. It's got
someone is saying Orange Crush.
Orange Crush.
Is that a thing for you?
That's what they're talking. That's Orange Crush is what I was talking about. Yeah. Good for you, whoever that was. Was it Oregon? Because he lives in my area. Was it Oregon? Who answered that?
Oregon Fresh. Yeah, you're right. There you go.
I figured.
There you go.
If anybody's gonna know what I'm talking about, especially in this area, yeah, I love that shit. Let's see, what do we got? Is that like a bad fountain soda situation, or is it from a can? It's from a can. Orange Crush is big everywhere. Yeah, for sure. At least Orange Crush is. Don't know about Fanta because I've never seen it even in a store here, but it doesn't mean anything. I mean, stores only carry a certain number of things. Unless it's like a Walmart, what are those superstore? I've never been to one, but I want to. They're like the ones that have like everything that supposedly they carry.
Oh, yeah.
America sucks for not selling Fanta grape.
Yeah, that's a rare flavor.
Fucking A.
We have it.
Sorry, go ahead.
We have it in Brazil. It's very good, but it's extremely sweet. You would, like, if you drank a lot of it, you would just like pass out or something. But it's great.
You can fucking actually watch your hypothalamus and shit getting bigger. You're like, I have a goiter. No, man, that's just some of your thyroid bits stretching out from the extra sugar.
Can people stop mentioning pizza, please?
Yeah,
I'm getting hungry.
Dude, so Abby's here, super expensive. Only time I've ever chosen what would that be? Like a brand name, I guess. I can go with generic, almost anything. But whatever goes on at Absy's, hey Absy, fist bump. Whatever goes on at Abby's, whatever special juices they squirting onto that. I'm sorry.
That sounds nasty.
It did on purpose, but that's Abby's pizza is weirdly legit.
Yeah. Sauce is made with love.
Lust. Nah, we'll go with love. Baja Blast is the one that used to be Taco Bell exclusively. Man, then this is all making sense because that
Baja Blast.
It's so bad that I can't even fathom that somebody decided to sell it. Like it's terrible. Anyway, back to news. Yeah, terrible. I think it's okay to have the ads. I don't want them to be there, but if that's going to stop microtransactions or curb them a bit, if that's going to help companies stay keeping people employed, if that's going to and the realism of seeing a real game with real products, which I'm fine with, I'm okay with those.
Yeah, I think I'm okay. If someone's eating a pizza and it's Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
It depends on the game. Let's be honest. It depends on the game.
You're right. Yeah.
If you're a Skyrim game and like someone's drinking a Coke, get out of here.
Get out of here.
That's stupid.
Dude, what if they're like, and who are you? And they're drinking a Monster. That's when we know to check out of gaming, dude.
Yeah,
that's when
we're done.
Or they're like some KFC, and they're like, they're all we have to protect the king, and they're eating some KFC out of a bucket, but it looks like it's like maybe a metal bucket that they've forged. I'd be like, we're done.
It's just called King's Fried Chicken instead of Kentucky or something.
King's KFC.
Yeah,
dude, witty. Look at you. Has anyone tried Dirty Mountain Dew?
Oh my God. That's perverse, man.
I feel like Dirty Mountain Dew is something you see on liveleak.com. or Motherless. I feel like nobody's.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it, and it sounds. Game of Thrones with Starbucks. Yeah, I forgot the Starbucks thing. That's funny. Game of Thrones had an episode where Starbucks got left into one of the scenes. Did you ever see that? Did you ever hear that big hubbub?
Was that a cut, like a deleted scene, or an actual?
Fully got into the TV show.
Really?
Yeah, on accident.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Does anybody remember who left it? Was it Prince Curly Hair?
Sansa.
Whatever his name is.
Blame Sansa for everything.
The dark-haired guy, Kit Harington. Was it
yeah,
Kit
Kit
who did
Harington.
that? I feel like Kit probably did on accident. I thought it was Kit, but I could be wrong. Or maybe they didn't trace it because nobody admits it. Because I don't think I would. I would be like, especially because everybody's probably got a Starbucks in the morning, and be all, dude, what if it said your name on it, though? It's like, for Carrick. And you're like, oh, shit, man.
Yeah,
outed.
True.
You're
God
up there
damn it.
like, dude, it's never happened. I don't even know. I didn't even have a drink. And they're like, Carrick.
It's like,
here's
bro, your
Starbucks.
name is on the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says 8 shots of espresso. for
No one
4
else can
shots of
drink
cream.
this.
Nobody else is
Carrick.
going to drink this bitter ass stuff but you. Are you still going to pretend it's not yours? I think it was Arya or Sansa.
Always
Arya.
blame Sansa.
Sansa,
for sure.
is Sansa the 3'2" little
Red hair.
little tiny? Oh, Sansa's the taller, thinner,
the big one,
the one who was
tall
banging the guy behind Jonas's back. I think it was. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. So moving on from there. Yeah, that was some interesting news though about both of those. I think that EA saying that doesn't mean anything. Each company is going to choose their own. They'll choose their own destiny on this. So, let's see. PlayStation Plus catalog this July is going to have Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora. Worth it. Seriously.
Nice.
Worth it. It's
Yeah.
going to have Rise of the Ronin. Not worth it. Seriously. Not worth it. I'm just joking. Hey, it's on there.
I
Download
mean,
it, play it.
sad but true. Let's be honest.
Sad but true. They also have fighter fighting simulator Ignite, which I did a preview of. ACG did a preview of that, and I got to admit, sort of dug it. I like my firefighting games. So let's see what else. What else we got here? Where Winds Meets got another update. Game is just nailing it. Did you see what I posted about Marvel DC Universe?
No.
The MMO. Those guys, I don't know if it's 6 people. I don't know if it's 200. I don't know if it's one guy with AI. But they continue to deliver content for a game that is like 13 plus years old. So listen to this. Their upcoming game add-on is going to be, this is aside from all the stuff they're adding, the ability to now partner with your other characters as team-ups. That is legit smart. So now your level 60 character you have, you're not leveling up, you're playing this main character, you can now, or will, when they add this, be able to call the other character. He'll be run by AI, and you'll now be able to do full team partnerships with that other character.
That's cool.
That is what every game needs to do. If you have a multi-tiered
they should
roster, can you imagine doing Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic?
Because your guys are kitted out just how you want them.
Yeah, dude, that would be so cool. The amount of narrative you could build in, even you could do all kinds of crazy. What if your secondary guy's like, I feel deja vu. I feel like I've already been here because he's a higher level than you and he's already done the mission. That shit would be. Dude, DC Universe fucking nails that shit.
Space Marine 2 would be awesome if the bots you play with are your guys in how you kitted them out. So like, let's say you have a sniper.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they just inherit your own sniper setup.
Yeah.
The bot does, instead of being the Gennaro blue bot,
Yeah. I would agree with that.
That would be cool.
He misspoke. Did I say Marvel Universe?
No, you said DC.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
But regardless, just so you know, DC for sure. She's the new Lara Croft.
Or maybe you said Marvel, but you also said DC. So yeah.
Yeah. But
fine.
It is DC, just so everybody knows. There isn't a brand new MMO that's 13 years old somehow called Marvel Universe.
Marvel Universe.
She's the new Lara Croft.
Who is?
Sansa isn't the chick who banged the guy behind Jonas's back. She was married to one of the Jonas sisters.
I didn't know any of
The
that.
Jonas Brothers. I'm just teasing. She was married to one of the Jonas
wait.
Brothers. They divorced.
So
in the last
she's
couple
gonna
years.
be the
She's
new.
gonna be the
okay.
new. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because they
I
showed
mean-
a picture. They showed a picture a while ago.
Okay. It's some tough shoes to fill.
Yeah, especially because they retread Laura in the movies so much, and I think when you look,
Yeah.
regardless of the other lady, I know you like the replacement for
Very
Brad
much
Pitt's
so.
ex, but you got Brad Pitt's ex who did. She did them. I guess that would be just those two. But I've always felt like they don't have their own. They don't feel like unique as movies, as at least as much as I would have liked. They don't feel unique. So
Yeah, probably not that much. I do like the look. I think like the look that, what was her name? Natalie something? Tomb Raider.
the one you like a lot? I don't remember her
Yeah.
name. I don't even
Alicia Vikander is the one I like. I think her look is the best like representation of that character and how she plays it, how she talks and stuff. I didn't think Angelina Jolie particularly fit it.
Gotcha.
She did a great job though with her own interpretation, but it just didn't exactly fit that much for me.
And then, yes, people are reminding me, we talked about this in Discord already. Sad news, man. Sad fucking news. I'm sort of devastated by this, even though I don't even know if I would watch the show, but I love the guy. The guy who they cast as Kratos had to drop out because he tore his bicep in training.
Yeah.
Opie from Sons of Anarchy, probably his best role ever, or would have been cast as like the
he
biggest
looks
role.
the part.
He looks
completely,
the part
without any makeup. Like
he's a great actor. He's a phenomenal actor.
He's great.
It just that sucks beyond all belief. But can I point something out? I'm not saying this is true. A torn bicep is a big deal. But if you're making a show this big and he's probably going to be in the majority of scenes for sure. But we've seen people who have been hurt or whatever, and there's been entire recasts, or not recasts, but reshoots around them. There have been shoots to adjust. There was a lot of hubbub that people didn't like his look. I don't know if you remember seeing the screenshot they did, which was terrible. That's on Sony, though. That's on whoever released it. But I feel like a torn bicep. I mean, especially in martial arts, you definitely tear a bicep. It definitely hurts. You tear it off the bone.
Sounds like you could recover from that.
Or movie recover is what I mean. Movie recover, meaning you adjust a movement here or there.
Shoot around it.
Around it. Yeah.
That kind of thing.
It's, I mean, I guess he'll say something. I mean, I don't see how unless he's like really embarrassed or something like that because of the outcry. I thought he looked fine as normal. I just think the picture they showed was terrible. It looked like he was taking a
bad picture.
It was just a bad picture. It was like whoever took that, it didn't look right. He didn't look menacing. He looked like he was surprised by what was
the bicep thing sounds a little bit like, when you promised someone you would go out bowling with them or some shit, and then last minute you really just don't want to go, and you've already decided you're not going, but now you're just looking for a good excuse to not go.
You just described it's so weird. You just described what I feel like my life is 70% of the time. Family members, wife, somebody will say like, "Let's go," and I'll be I'll be like, I'll think about it because I have genuinely done that, but I'll know in my heart of hearts, I'll be like, and I'm pretty quick on the decision.
Like search your feeling. You
know it to be true, but sometimes I'll be like, all right, I'll think about it, and then it'll get to be the time, and I'll be like, and what's funny is my family members, I can tell they know for sure, because what will happen is they'll take the maybe, but they will plan around the no all the time. All the time. My wife will do it. She'll be like, "You want it, blah blah blah," and I'll be like,
Like, okay, let's have a plan B.
Yep. And then I'll wake up in the morning, she's already getting ready, and I'll be like, yes, I got away with it again. I mean, it sucks that I'm like that, but like, it's pretty scary with me when I'm in a place that like I'm not enjoying. It's not fun. So it's just like, and I will try my hardest to figure out a way to enjoy it, and I can do that 90% of the time. But sometimes when somebody says, trying to think of an event, like I can do a Thanksgiving for sure. We go to her mom and her mom and dad's house, or her husband's house, and be like, that's fine. But sometimes somebody will just give you that invite that it all sounds bad. Like it sounds horrendous. They'll say, do you want to get together on the weekend?
Absolutely not.
We're going to hike with 12 kids, and we're going to all piggyback cats to the top and take a picture. And then when we get up there, we're going to pray. Like, there is nothing in that. You know what I mean?
I like the cherry on top, like all this terrible shit. And then in the end, still.
It's so, you just be sitting up there going, oh, fuck, man, there's not a single thing I can glean out of this that's like gonna.
Yeah.
And what happens is I either don't pay attention and I'm off in my own wonderland, or I can get really like just uncomfortable. And it's just not fun.
Yeah. I guess for you, it's tougher because you have your wife. So sometimes, you want to be there for her, right? Like if it's something she wants to do.
99% of the shit I do, bro, is for other people. Like, have you ever heard that, it feels good to do shit for other people? Probably why I feel good all the time. Because 99% of the shit I do is for other people. Because they'll be like, do you want to go somewhere? And I'll be all, sure. But I really don't want to. Like, for example, the movie theater. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
I love going to the movie theater for very specific shows, right? Like, if it's going to be a superhero movie or it's something that's completely surprised me, but it is not I just heard a movie was on at the movie theater kind of person. And so
no, I agree. Absolutely.
Me, man. That's rough because people be like, hey, you want to go to the theater? And I'll be like, if I did, you would have already known.
Yeah.
Because I would have been the one making the plan. I would have told you I wanted to go. So then you're sitting there going,
you would
not
know.
Really. I try to sell myself on the popcorn, though. It's worked. There's been a couple times where I've actually gone to the theater and had a pretty good time by basing it on what I was going to get and the trailers.
Yeah.
I'll be
it's so expensive here that
so expensive.
Yeah, it sucks. Maybe the best excuse to end a conversation. I really need to go to the toilet.
Oh, right
so
now. Yeah.
We need to make a decision. Are we committing and I just take a break and come back, or we're calling it?
Is it 150? How long have we been going? Dude, it feels like we've been talking for 20 minutes. So
we've been going for a long time today, man.
Let me look.
Yeah.
I think you're lying. Oh.
Check your OBS.
3 hours. Okay. So here's the problem. I legitimately last looked and it was reversed. It was like 2 hours, 25 minutes. Now it's 3 hours, 25 minutes. So when I looked, I thought we had like a ton of time. What the fuck? Yeah. How did that happen? What were we even talking? Anyway,
I don't know.
What are you doing
we
this
didn't
weekend?
Even get to science stuff. I do want to talk to you, but next time.
Yeah, okay. We'll put it on next time. All right. Sorry.
Okay.
Back to what do you got this weekend?
I'm doing some AC Black Flag. It's really the main thing. I'm doing some Pal World as well on the side. But yeah, pretty much those two things.
Super chat real quick for mine. This is from SBZ. Random question. Would you rather watch a movie on a half-empty largest theater or alone in a standard screen? Totally unrelated to the Odyssey that surprisingly is not selling well in my local Cinemark. Oh, wow. Okay. Would you rather watch a movie on a half-empty largest screen or alone on a standard screen? So here's the problem. I love theater audiences. I'm the opposite.
Really?
More people, dude, yeah. If I'm going to the theater, it's not to see it. I can see a big screen. I have a 240-inch projector if I want to pull it out of the closet. Like, I like going with people. That's why it's a specific event for me.
Okay,
so, yeah. Having friends and you're going and everybody's laughing. I love it when you go to a theater and people are into it. I don't want to see them throwing Doritos like the Minecraft. That's children being stupid. That's not what I'm talking about. But when people are genuinely excited,
because it's an event.
Scared, it's an event. Yeah. I like people. What about you? Would you rather go to a massive, amazing with half of it's filled, or a normal theater with nobody and it's just for you.
There is something that's like, if it's just for me, it's kind of cool. It's a bit like I got a lucky lottery ticket kind of thing. There's some magic to that, but I agree. Going with friends is really nice, or family, something like that.
Yeah, I love that feeling. All right, that's it. You got to give your bit. What am I doing? We got some reviews coming up. You'll see more videos. If you get a chance, check out the Patreon. It does help, especially now with YouTube being an absolute bitch. I got demonetized for some fucking stuff. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Anyway, that'll be it for us. I hope you guys all have an absolutely incredible weekend. Thanks for sticking around, talking about Fallout so much with us. Peace out and enjoy the rest of your week, which supposedly is about 2 hours. Yeah. See you next time. Let me see if I can shut this stream down, though, before we... This has happened like 6 times. Okay, here we go.
Have you seen... I'll talk to you more in the Discord when I catch you. But have you seen